This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 866 for the week of Monday, April 28th, 2025. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
And on today's episode, we have a very special guest. You may know him as the translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump Manga Plus. His name is Stephen Paul. How's it going, Stephen?
Going good. Nice weather here. Nothing to complain about.
Isn't it always nice
Well,
weather?
you live in San Diego, so.
Yeah.
We have artist for tonight's episode, Image, and also Eisner Award-nominated artist for Mermin, Dragon Racer, Ghost Hog. I'm doing these. The Littlest Fighter, right?
There you go.
Yeah, the one I've been forgetting, which is out now in stores everywhere or
True.
places.
Yeah, my sister had pre-ordered it for my nephew.
Nice,
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's Joey Weiser here, by the way. Here he is. Hi,
Hey,
Joey.
thanks. Yeah, it's warming up here in Georgia. We went strawberry picking today.
Oh, the best.
Did not see any tall-headed Marine officers, but that's okay.
Oh, that one took me a minute. Which is really a
But
shame.
we got a whole bucket full of delicious strawberries.
Yeah, early strawberry picking's very good. Anyway, finally, you know him as the, and I don't want to get the title wrong because I always get the titles wrong. But we have Bryan Newton here, Fight Girl, Rick and Morty, Teen Titans Go, many more. How's it going?
Hey, supervising producer or director works.
There it is.
Yeah.
I like whatever
That's a
I
lot of
say is
words.
going to be the wrong thing.
It's fine. Just like you can just say this asshole Newton.
No, Brian. We love
Dark
having
King
Brian.
Zoro.
Dark King Zoro. I should have just said.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Brian? It's been a while.
It has. I mean, I survived the fires, and that was
Check.
traumatic.
Step one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, work's picking up. We're in this new world, this new little fascist world.
Yeah.
That's great.
You
Yeah.
could always
Luckily,
introduce.
fascism
Well,
isn't going to come up. on
You could
this
always introduce him
chapter.
as Brian. This show's too fucking popular, Newton.
Yeah, that's the other one.
No, that's true. That's always good.
I did drop the Rick and Morty bomb recently, and someone was like fangirly on me, and that was very uncomfortable.
I parked behind someone with a Pickle Rick bumper sticker today, so this,
It's still out.
show's too popular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what was it? I think season 8 is about to air or airing right now.
Yeah.
And I know Yorko's working on it right now too, so it's still going.
Yurko is Yurkoing. He's not here with us today. He's too busy with Sungwon in
Secaucus, New Jersey.
Secaucus, New Jersey. You're on the air. Sorry, that's the full title of the city. Yeah, today we are going through chapter 1147 of the manga titled What We're Afraid of. So once again, not prescient. And we also pieced together and the answers to our trivia, which none of you were on for last week.
I will say I was listening to that and I was like, I don't think I know the answer to any of these questions, so it wouldn't have made a difference.
It's actually
I'm dying to find out what that
I could do this at the top of the show. Should I? Is that ridiculous?
Let's say we gotta save.
Okay, we'll save it. We'll save it for piece together or the end of the show. It was surprising, the results and what the answers were. I'll say that. Totally worth the 30 minutes of discussion per question, I think. Anyway, yeah, please listen to last week's episode before you listen to that, which will be at the end of the show, so you're fine. Please subscribe to us on Patreon at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. For $5 a month, you get really all of the coolest things you could possibly hope for.
Ad-free episodes and alternative artworks.
Yeah, they're free, ad-free, alternate artwork, as Ed said, alternate titles, the entire Force to Watch 4 Kids, which we were just talking about recently amongst ourselves, which is still it's one of my favorite things that that I produced but was not on. It's very good. You should definitely listen to that if you get a chance. But there's no other really huge news except Steven, there was the Universal thing. I don't know if
I brought that up because I didn't know what it was, and so that's your cue to enlighten me if you know.
Oh no,
It is.
I can't.
It is a
Brian?
Universal-led fan event. They're basically like, if you guys are familiar with like the Halloween Horror Nights, which is like a specific time the park uses to like, hey, this is just now everything's Halloween themed. Now doing that with some of the IPs that they own. One of which is Back to the Future, obvious. Star Trek is another one. I believe Harry Potter, but One Piece is included in that because of Universal Studios. In Florida, in Japan. But Nintendo World is also a part of it. So they're doing that through, I think, now
May
in
18th.
April.
I pulled it up. Yeah, April 25th through May 18th.
Okay, so yeah, it's basically like a late spring event to early summer. But I don't know how it's going to be used. I plan to be going there on the 2nd. So if there's One Piece stuff there, I'll let you guys know.
I think Jill and Steve are
Cool.
planning on going, right? I think. Maybe
I mean,
I'm
they
putting words in
should.
their mouth.
They're in LA.
Good.
I
Right around the corner from us, almost literally.
Yeah, you could go bother them. Are you in the same place? Not to dox you here.
I'm pretty
as,
close.
when I was there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm super close. I'm on the edge of Burbank.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not dox Bryan Newton.
I'm fine.
So he's challenging. I was reading the location of the fan nights. New York Street. I got so excited for a brief second. In Universal Studios Hollywood, the upper lot. Tickets are still on sale for that. There's a Grand Pirate Gathering, a Dine Like a Pirate at Sanji's Galley. I know Steve has already been there because he posted pictures, and now I'm putting 2 and 2 together. They look like there's some tacos involved. Oh, wait. It says, drop anchor at Sanji's Galley and dig into One Piece themed food and beverages like Luffy's meat on a bone. Wait, that's still not good. Frankie's Cola Barbacoa. I don't know how I feel about that.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'd try it.
I would try it, but I don't know how I feel about it. Chopper Cupcake. It's not Chopper's Cupcake. It is Chopper Cupcake. Devil Fruit Concha. Conca? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Concha is it's
Concha?
a pastry. It's a Mexican pastry.
Oh, you see, this is...
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I apologize to the entire nation of Mexico. And Nico Robbins' Tropical Iced Tea. And I apologize to all of the tropical nations and places. But she's
put
going to
little
need one of
flowers
those.
in the top, maybe for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's a good. Ed, you should be designing these beverages.
Yeah.
Well,
One Piece
also
Imagineer.
that should be a job, and you know what? It probably will be a job at the rate popularity has been exploding in One Piece. For One Piece.
Are we getting? I wonder if we're getting close to an announcement for a season 2 of the live action.
Well,
date?
I mean, it's been
premiere date.
oh, like the
Yeah.
date. You mean?
Yeah, they've been doing little things on like Instagram and stuff. I've noticed with like talking to the actors and stuff.
Yeah,
it's usually a
that's
good
actually
sign.
worth mentioning. Yeah, I know they just did. I haven't listened to it yet, but Robin's actress just posted one, and apparently she may have a scene with Wapple, is what I saw. This is like me relaying news that I've seen just comments of stuff, so this is not the most reliable. But
They finished filming though, right?
they did finish filming.
That was a while ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the end of the year.
Yeah,
they're-
last year.
2024.
They're probably hard at work doing special effects.
Editing,
Yeah.
special effects, music, I'm sure is, all that stuff. Music's usually the very end, if I recall. Yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to when that happens. Obviously, you could stick here with us, and we will tell you as soon as that happens. Anyway, I think we should talk about some manga.
Yes.
Don't you all?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, with permission granted, let's go into the manga recap. This is the manga recap for chapter 1147, What We're Afraid Of. And have no fear, because this chapter is available at shonenjump.viz.com and mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp every single week, except for the weeks that it's not, for free, legally, and worldwide. Ed, what's going on in the cover of Shonen Jump this week?
Well, we have a video game themed cover of Jump this week, and we got Luffy front and center as he should, with his gamer headphones on, and something on his collar says like a level plane or a level playing field, maybe is what it says.
Oh, yeah, that might be it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and everyone's got like PlayStation controllers. It looks like, except for Luffy's, kind of looks like a banana.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's
I
got
didn't expect
he's got an old he's got like a really he's got like the original PlayStation controller because there's no analog sticks on it. It's
Yeah,
just,
PS1 controller.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it looks like a PS1. Yeah.
Yeah, just the D-pad.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's a little more curved than that, but that's fair.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
but it
it's
looks like a
artistic
banana.
license.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
definitely a banana.
Yeah, and the author comments haven't been published on the Viz blog yet, so we don't
They've
have
been
that.
taking a little while with those. I just noticed the back of his coat, by the way, is game set match. I got that now. To be fair, this is my first time really looking.
And
at
there's
it.
like 8-bit sprite art of of all the Jump characters. Like you see Roboco just over Luffy's shoulder there.
yeah, that's
So-
good.
Steven, did we get to
Yeah,
the
there's a
bottom
really cute Akane one.
of? Oh wait, no, I need to find the Akane.
I think now I don't know what the where this might be coming from. So I will say first of all, Zach mentioned every week except for the weeks that it's not. Well, this is a double issue because next week is Golden Week. So
I caught myself.
yeah. So this is a kind of a special one. That's why we have so many characters on the cover. They usually try to do that for the like the double issues. And it does have in the corner, if you look in the top right corner, there is a fold in or like a, one of those little centerfold things that is packed in that says card game Jump Mekute Heroes. Which I think maybe it might be a physical card game, but it looks like it includes like Luffy and Sakamoto and I think that's Blue Box, the girl on the right.
Blue Box from Blue Box.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I think maybe I don't know if that's like the art style of that game or something. But it does say like the big motto or the big phrase on the front is Syokute Tanoshi new game, which it literally means like powerful, fun new game. But the phrase Syokute new game, which means like start the new game strong, that's basically the Japanese version of New Game Plus, i.e., you start the game over, but you have all of your stuff. So that's kind of what they're playing on here.
Interesting.
Interesting. It's funny how much the sprites kind of are evocative of Earthbound.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I wonder
that
if they were
reference.
I wonder if they were like trying to tap into like the switch to hubbub with everybody being excited about that.
Maybe, but like because of like this old kind of like PlayStation style plus with the sprite artwork, I'm thinking like it feels like vintage Japanese JRPGs, Chrono Trigger, another New Game Plus reference, and then like Earthbound.
And would there have been enough time to do that? Because that was April 2nd, right? That announcement?
Yeah, but I mean they've been building up the the promotion and getting people ready to start the pre-orders and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, oh well, this is just on everybody's mind. Let's do a video game thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times the double issue covers that are big group covers are just like everyone playing a sport or everyone eating pizza together or something like that, and it's like every Jump artist draws their character doing like the activity that they choose, and I think it's like semi-seasonal, but it's like usually just kind of like this might even be like we're approaching summer break, you're going to play some video games or something like yeah. So I don't think it's like promote besides those like cards you were talking about. Like I don't think it's meant to like promote anything specifically. I do think it's interesting that usually we get art from all of the authors kind of crammed into one little space, and here we get kind of a look at who the top players are these days for Weekly Jump, because they get actual art whereas everybody else gets the little sprites. But I think the sprites are really cute.
But the thing is, I thought Akane was doing well. Just generally, Akane Banashi.
I mean, she's in the front corner, so that's a good.
But
spot.
she's only a sprite, and Roboco has been doing
what
well.
does this
I think
mean?
Roboco
Oh
is
God!
only a sprite.
Read the tea leaves.
I
I think it's like Witch Watch has an anime right now, and Sakamoto Days recently did, and it's just
Oh, you know what?
There's always shifting blocks of who's on top.
Right. Who's getting
This did remind me somewhat relatedly. I think I haven't seen the comment, but I think it must have come out in.
There's
Maybe
a little
this
bit of
was last
chronology involved here, just of who's being edited into and out of pictures, like official Soviet censorship. Who's in favor is who's getting edited out of photos.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this recently, but when we went 12 years ago now to Japan and went to Shonen Jump, you saw them putting it together, and they just as we said here, they just get the assets and they decide how to yeah. But I did want to mention when was this posted? Oh, this was last week's comment, I guess, from Oda, which is about Curry, which I actually have not read yet. But Akane Banashi was number 2 in that table of contents, but the person who I guess made the curry posted about being very thankful for it. That's on our Twitter, actually, one of the only things there. So you could check that out. We should probably get into the chapter. We could talk about the comments later. Oh, Ed, what's on the cover page?
Sure, this is the Ochre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 32. Thanked by Raizo, Daimyo of Udon. And, Yamato is there stuffing his face with a peace sign, as Raizo's got a big goofy grin on his face, giving Tama head pats.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. Is this the reveal that Raizo's the daimyo?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I sense a lot of inside dealing going on here with these new daimyos. They seem very
connected.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I sense corruption.
In Wano? Next, you're going to tell me that the Shogun is like 11 years old. I mean, that doesn't make sense.
No, that's just insane. Who would let an 11-year-old rule them?
You know what? 11-year-olds not as bad as alternatives.
Yes, it could be worse.
That's fair.
It could be much worse. Thank God they have an 11-year-old running the country.
Another thing I noticed in the corner on the left, there's a Who's mask just being held up.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
To me.
And I wonder if that is Who's mask.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, I wonder if he will have a character design without a mask,
Boo.
or if he's going to just be a Doflamingo forever.
He's just a cat, isn't he?
Yeah. The guy who's holding it has like a little stomp, like he's kind of stomping his foot, and he has a little puff of indignation. So
Yeah.
I feel like he was at Who's land, and he's like, "You sold me this piece of shit mask for $20." Ah.
I was
He got the
gonna say,
knockoff.
Yeah.
there are definitely characters I want to see unmasked. However, Who is not one for many reasons. But also
low on the list.
But also, I love the Alex Toth-esque design of his mask, like the Space Ghost-esque.
The blank eyes.
Yeah,
that's a good
I don't want to see a different version where he looks like just some other schmuck there.
He already looks like a schmuck.
Well, no, he already is a schmuck.
He acts like.
To be fair, he doesn't. Well, I guess he looks a little like a schmuck. Any other comments? Oh, so do we know any other of the daimyos under the current administration?
It's just Dogstorm.
Where was that Kibi?
He was Curry.
Curry. Oh, Odin's old. Oh yeah, we did. I guess we're gonna get those revealed during this journey because that was also
maybe
the cover story.
Oh boy, if we've only seen like 2 of them so far, and we're on number 32 here.
Wait, but that also means there are not Akazaya 9. How many of them survived? 2.
At least 7.
7.
7.
Yeah.
2. What am I saying?
Yeah.
There's going to be some people who don't.
Because there was one guy who got blowed up good. I forget his name.
Ashura Doji.
Ashura Doji or
Shimara, yeah.
He had a lot of names. That might be why you're forgetting. Really, just name anyone. And
was Izo technically a member, or is he?
He was.
I think technically
a member, but he's not considered one of the 9 scabbard because he wasn't there for that journey. Well, but he wasn't there when they actually got that title. He was already on White Ship.
I wonder. Yeah. So where's Kiku gonna be? The daimyo of?
I thought they've shown Kiku already.
Oh yeah, wasn't she still at the?
Yeah, I think she was
capital?
at the tea house or something like that.
Oh, I don't remember this.
Maybe.
Well, to
Maybe
be
I'm
fair,
tripping.
it was at least 30 chapters ago. At
Right.
least 32 chapters ago, with all the color spreads and everything, and then off weeks and that. You're talking about like
Right.
a year ago. Okay, we should get into the chapter. Ed, please take it away.
Sure. You start with Saul here. He's just saying, "Stay hidden, Rabbit and Chopper. I've seen him before. He's a holy knight." Huh? They're immortal. You can't beat them. I guess is this Saul saying or Summers saying?
Yeah, that's Summers.
I guess that means there were 2 survivors of O'Hara. The Navy sure did a sloppy job. Good help is so hard to find.
This is interesting because he doesn't know Robin is right there, I assume, but he does know that she survived. I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
That's why she's wanted.
yeah, I mean she's the known survivor of O'Hara.
Yeah. So, and I guess this is Saul saying, "Hide and wait for your chance to save the kids." And we see Chopper and Robin hiding amongst the spiny vines here.
It's almost like a briar patch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brer Robin and Brer Chopper.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brer Robin, Brer Chopper. Amazing.
This is not their happy place.
No,
Yeah.
nobody's happy place.
What is this, Splash Mountain? Not anymore.
Yeah, they got rid of that.
Yeah.
Tiana's Cove or something like that.
And Summers continues, "Gunko, you caught the Straw Hat crew then. You gonna take him with us?" And that's Gunko saying, "Don't be stupid, Summers. Are you trying to make Straw Hat Luffy furious? Let's just fulfill the mission and go home."
That was Killingham.
Killingham, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could see the Kirin head.
Yeah.
Maybe you want a beer after this. I don't know.
Yeah, Korean brand beer. Makes you sleepy.
Killingham. Oh yeah, I think Steve did draw that in like an image that we did already.
Yeah, I saw
Killingham Ichiban. No, he's not.
No, what's the opposite of that?
So is this Nami speaking the next panel?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of
Yeah.
got everybody is chiming in here.
Yeah.
I think it's Nami, then
This one's
Jinbei,
Nami.
then Usopp, then Brooke. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Nami saying, "Poor Saul's been tormented, and we let Colin get kidnapped. How could you let this happen, Jinbei?" And Jinbei's like, "Stop shouting. I'm trying to come up with a plan. What are these powers anyway?"
I do love that Jinbei continues to be the plan maker of the crew.
Yeah.
Like he's stating,
No
"This
one
is
else
what
is
I
stepping
do."
up. Yeah.
And also, why is Nami blaming Jinbei? I mean,
She-
because he's the highest bounty. Is she like a
It's
power
just
scaler?
what she does. It's like if Zoro or Sanji was around. It's like,
Yeah,
why
I
didn't you
guess.
protect us? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that was Usopp saying, "What are these powers anyway?"
What are these powers, anyways? As Jinbei.
Jinbei? It took it scary. I thought I was going to die, which wouldn't make sense if Brooke said it. Yo. And I guess maybe this is Brooke saying, "I feel like there's something about that woman. However, maybe it's just my imagination." And then there's what's that bam in the background? Sound effect.
No, that's just
That's just
show.
the crew, yeah. They're all
Huh.
kidnapped.
Yeah. Then we see something is about to hit Brooke right in the eye hole. Ah! Yeah, it's her! The zombie girl.
Who's next? Is it me?
It is you.
Okay. Yes, and here it is, the long-awaited confrontation between Gunko and Brooke. And she just kind of stomps.
She had like an arrow sword sort of shooting into his eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was menacing him with it, and then now she is just kicking him. She's got his like head pushed all the way back. She's kicking him on the underside of the jaw. And
some guys pay extra for this.
Yeah.
Ed had that
Brooke
joke
can't enjoy
right.
the view from down here.
Yeah. I mean, I think, Brooke probably would be the guy who would enjoy that on the crew.
I mean,
but,
he's always asking to see panties, so
yeah.
there, he got his wish.
But suddenly
Wish.
he becomes the mature, older member of the crew. And
Yeah.
I guess Gunko's wearing more of like a onesie or a unitard.
Oh, yeah.
Something under that that jacket.
I did mention her lack of pants the last time I was on the episode on the show.
We've often mentioned it.
Yes, thank you for reminding us. And so the rest of the crew is like, Brooke, And she says, "Listen up, you." He's like, "Huh?" She says, "I want you to write songs for me for the rest of your life. You're going to be my slave." So instead of fangirling out or, like not recognizing him somehow for some reason, now we have confirmation. She doesn't know exactly who he is, but she is still, she's in that
evil.
She's in that celestial dragon mode where, like, yeah, you don't look up to anyone, you look down on them. And Brooke's like, "Huh?" And then the crew is reacting here. Nami's like, "What? Does she know about Brooke's music?" Which, you would be forgiven for wondering based on the way that no one seems to notice that Brooke is sulking.
It is irritating.
And Usopp says, "A celestial dragon who's a fan of sulking? Sounds like a nightmare of a fan," says Jinbei.
It sounds like a joke about right-wing One Piece fans.
I was going to say, says Eiichiro Oda.
He's like, "Do you even listen to my music?"
And Summers is like, "Knock it off, Gunko. I don't want to fight with one of the 4 emperors either. Let's just do our job and go." And so she backs off a step, and Brooke sits up and says, "I'm quite sorry, young lady, but from the day that Captain Straw Hat Luffy bestowed upon me my second life, I have been dedicated to no one but him." And she says, "What if I said I would kill you?" And then you get this cool, like, Dawn panel where he says, "I would rather die than live without honor."
Brooke is so cool.
But he's
when he wants to be,
dead.
Yeah.
When he wants to be, he is so cool.
No,
He's
this is a
always
very
the
cool
best.
line. Yeah.
Yeah. And Usopp's like, "Look out, Brooke!" And then she kicks him in the face, completely knocks him backwards. But there's a little panel here where she's getting a little twinge in her heart. I don't know if that is like a physical thing or if that's a mental thing that she's like, it does pain her inside to kick her musical hero, perhaps.
I would say it definitely is affecting her physically because of the way she's gripping onto her clothes and her outfit. That suggests, like, no, there's physical pain there too.
Yeah, but I do think it is probably like physical pain that is manifesting because, like, she's pained by what she is doing to her musical idol.
Sure.
And she's kicking and she's whacking him. The other crew members are going, "Brooke!" And Summer says, "Are we good now, Killingham?" And Killingham says, "Yeah, go ahead."
She's still kicking him after, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's stomping the hell.
Oh, maybe he hit her. Maybe that's like
He's tied up though.
it's
maybe
very
it's like-
weird. That panel
Oh.
confuses me.
I just got a theory about this. Maybe, like you were saying, Steven, kicking her idol. Maybe because she listens to his music, her kicking him affects her soul.
Oh, yeah. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. I don't think it's going to be the case, but I like
Yeah,
that a lot.
we'll see.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
You will see. We'll see what Oda does with Brooks.
I trust you more than Oda with that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll throw a wild one out there.
Yeah, well, let's
Okay.
hope that one manifests. Brian, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. Check. Can you hear me, Elbath? Come in, Warriors of Elbath. Who's that? What is this message? And we get a shot of like one of the Elbath warriors fighting off what looks like a giant pumpkin head, which is great. I assume it's one of the,
What is this,
sleep kids.
Cowboy Bebop movie?
Yeah.
I'll say
Knock-
this is the
knock on
only one
heaven's
of
door.
this is the only one of the sleep tids that's not like marker colored.
It might be
I think that's a mistake.
I do too.
'cause-
Yeah.
'cause what else could that be? It's doing the same thing the other's doing, is like creeping over a tree line or a house. And so then Sumners continues like, I'm sure you're all busy scrambling to deal with the strange events unfolding around you. And that was our doing. And we see a shot of Killingham at what's this specific transponder called?
The transponder pill bug.
Pillbug, yeah, because it's got the pillbug round shell. I am a dagger sent straight from sacred Mary Joa. I am Sumner's man of the Holy Knights. And we get a shot of the wide shot of this, like the remaining sleep dids crawling across. Like there's it looks like some sort of a Neptunian dragon, crocodile, another dragu
Grogger,
like skeleton, Dragger, skeleton warrior, of another warrior with like a mask and flames on its back. Oh wait, they all have flames on
Wait,
their back.
I didn't give a good look to these because the next one, Brian,
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
crazy.
and the most ridiculous dog spider thing I've ever seen. So
What
good.
a
That is
bizarre-
absolutely
Loving
scary.
it.
cartoon bulldog.
Yeah,
That
none of
is-
these have scared me, but that one scares me.
That one, it's like, what if you put a cute head on a really terrifying thing?
Yeah,
It's
and
and
give
it's a
it
good
spikes.
It's a good
That's it.
pitch,
it's probably
I
named
don't know.
Spike. I just thought of that.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what-
Oh, I like that, yeah.
it definitely is. Yeah.
It's like the is there a name for that bulldog? Like it's like a Looney Tunes bulldog that has the
There's
little
Spike
kitten.
with Tom and Jerry.
Oh,
Oh,
I know
that
what you're
dog.
talking
Oh,
about.
Yeah.
he does have a name. I just can't think of it because they say his name in the short.
Okay.
It's like it's not Gossamer, but Gossamer's the hairy giant.
Yeah, that's the Muppet.
It's
Isn't it?
Spike.
No.
This is Spike the
Is-
Nightmare Dog. So there you go.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely this thing's name. And so we cut to one of the villages in Elbaf, the Craftsman's Village in the southeast part of the Sun World. And one of the Elbaf warriors goes, "Mary Joa, so he's from the world government? Why would they do this?" One of the women say. I love all the fact that they're craftsmen. They all have
They all
hammers
have
instead of
hammers.
axes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
I didn't even notice that. That's good.
Yeah.
That was,
And
that was very funny to me. Like, the world government, why would they do this? Like,
Oh,
Because
right,
aren't they
people
up and
don't
up?
know. People don't know.
you don't watch the news?
Wait, something I don't know if they've established yet. Is Elbaf part of a member nation? They didn't have a
No.
king. They're not. They're unaffiliated.
Well, they
Okay,
don't have
so-
a king, but that's just because no one's filled the vacancy, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
That what's his face? Because he got
Harold.
killed. He got murked. And then I guess the craftsmen are going up against a sleep-did of a griffin. Looks like. Or
So
maybe
it looks like
chimera.
a winged lion of some kind.
Yeah. Maybe,
I
maybe
think
a
this
chimera.
one's adorable. I think.
Yeah. Another very Dragon Quest, like Toriyama-esque looking design.
They're so
Absolutely
Oda.
does look
They're
like
all so Oda. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing. This is like, yeah.
That's a
I
good
know
pull.
these are
Kind of
him.
looks like that cat. Who's the Akatsuka Fujio cat?
Oh yeah, was it Nyanta or Nyanko
Yeah.
or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
I know what you mean with the tongue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey, are we making you draw sleep tids 2 weeks in a row? I guess we'll find out.
Hey, I'll draw sleep tids any day.
I'll draw them in my sleep. Oh, I'm sorry.
Eh.
My jokes today bad.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Who's talking now? Oh, it's one of the other giants. Captains, they're sending this message all over Elbaf. And then Sumner's continues, as I'm sure. So they've revealed who they are. Is God, and that's a terrible
Rogie.
Rogie. Yeah. Okay. So they've revealed who they are. And then another part of town, the Huntsman Village, northeast Elbaf, and now we see a bunch of like animal
Bows and arrows.
skin-clad bows and arrows. Are the children safe? And Sumner's continues. So you realize all over Elbaf, we've taken 10 of your children as hostage, man. On top of that, we've reduced an orange-bearded man to a bloody mess for the crime of pursuing us from a school in an attempt to free the children, dude. That's Sumner's.
Yeah, I think
The
I think we got the voice there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, I'm next. I wrote down this order completely wrong. Okay, on my sheet. Okay, next. We see damn it, I know her name.
Ange.
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 I knew it's something very like
And
Swedish.
Ange
let's
is
say.
an all-star. Yeah, I forget her name all the
Angie.
time, too.
Yeah. Angie.
Yeah.
Is it Angie or Ange?
It's Anjay. Yeah.
Ange? Okay, so we're all wrong.
Like Ingenue.
Sure.
Okay. We see. I do love the fact that these menacing folks are also very tiny compared to all of the giants. So you have Killingham, who is as tall as the Pillbug, and I'm assuming he's a taller guy, or dragon, or whatever. As you see, Anjay. You know what? we see the librarian, the assistant teacher, whatever her title is. I
can't even get that right.
I don't blame you, Zach.
Yeah, Brian, but I do this every week. I should know. And in other words, wait, I'm trying to get my Jeff Daniels. In other words, while you blithely assumed that someone else was going to do the rescuing for you, man, the children have continued to march toward the goal. Oh, you guys suck. Anyway, everyone's like, no, not Saul. Immediately, I guess Saul sticks out as how did he describe him again? An orange bearded
orange
man. Is there really no other orange bearded man in all of Elbaf?
Brogy has like blondish hair, and Dory has like brownish blue.
Well, I don't even mean amongst the named characters. I mean just of an island with a population of of a nation. You'd think.
Remember way back in the day, he was like, "Don't compare me with those savages in Elbaf." I'm like, maybe he's a redheaded stepchild.
Maybe it's literally the redheaded. Yeah. Anyway, we see this is Killingham talking, saying the game's only getting started. It's a shame that we can't use video. And continues, can you name all of the children who marched out of here? And Angie, yeah, I can't. Says, of course. I'm never going to get it right. This is like a Bryan Newton thing. What was the...
Momonosuke.
Hey, you got it, though.
Is that the correct way?
Yeah,
Yes.
Momonosuke.
Yes.
Yeah. It only took until he was no longer relevant. Sorry. So then... Killingham says, then let's let their parents know that it's time for the twerps to wake from their dream. And we see them here all waking up while they were sleepwalking, but amidst that, and they're all asking each other, how come we're just marching along like this? Where are we going? I don't know, but we're already far away. That's not true. This is branch 8. We're on the way back. Yeah, but we can't control our feet. Sorry, I have like 6 voices. That's it.
This is how Zach reads his.
This is definitely how I read. This is I was thinking to myself while I was reading to him last night or tonight. I'm like, is this? Do I have to credit any improvement I've had with my manga recaps to this? And yes, or the opposite. Did I make them worse? Also, yes. Why can't we go home then? I want to see Mommy. I want to see Daddy. We're kidnapped. It means we can't see any of them, you idiots. Sorry, that was Colin. And they're all like, what? We're kidnapped? Stop whining. I'm here. And unlike you crybaby weaklings, I'm a warrior. Ah! And the sleep tids
Grimbald warrior.
Yeah, here come the sleep tids, the ghost with the very fun top hat. And a sleepy cow? Maybe? Is that what that is?
It's kind of creepy. I don't know what it is.
I said sleepy, but also creepy. A monster, a ghost. Save us, Colin. You could save us. You always talk a big game.
He's a warrior.
Yeah, he is yelling. He's clearly Enaru-faced, so he's not ready to do anything here.
That panel, or at least that bit, cracked me up so much.
It is a very good
He's like, "Shut up, you crybaby! I'm a warrior." Monsters!
This is instant karma. That's what that's called. When you get proven wrong as you're saying the sentence.
Amazing.
Yeah, always.
We all shine on.
Yep.
Brian, you get the next one.
Sure. And so we cut to a new scene with the Jogi and Brogy and their giant warrior band shailing in their Shav?
A Svar.
Shavar, thank you.
I thought you were going to say ska band.
It's the Shavar band.
Yeah, they all went to
band.
They went to the mall.
Skanking in their Savar.
They went to the mall to get Savaros.
There you go.
Oh, good.
You had that ready too, Ed.
My favorite Elbaf slice.
Yep.
It's a real Elbaf slice. You can't get one more authentic than Svabaros. Go ahead.
So they're like, it sounds like they took out Saul. Turn us around. We need to go save the kids. And then another giant goes, but Captain, there's a hole in the bridge. And we've got broken oars. And they're like, huh? And around them, we see a bunch of the sleep dates. Looks like a dragon. Oh, we do see what's coming. And then one of the pumpkin-headed dudes are back again. And we cut into close to the giants in their ship. And it's like, damn it, what kind of freakish beast is that? I don't know.
Ouch, man, that's my wife.
Take my wife, please.
Oh, God. Take out my wife, please, is what they're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know.
I apologize for that joke.
Yeah, for all the women in the audience who are wives. And
For all the
daughters.
wives in the audience.
Yeah. I don't know. It's some sort of woman monster. Kind of looks like my wife. Watch out! She's gonna beat you over the head. And then we cut into close to like her face in shadow, this sleep thing, breaking the oar with her hands, and it's like, that one looks like my wife, huh? Wait, these monsters all came from the children's worst fears, right? Uh-huh. And your wife is Bent's mom, right? Uh-huh, that's right. So Bent was asked to imagine what he was most afraid of, and that answer was Mommy! And then we see a shot of like their ship just being raided by a bunch of giant angry
This is
women.
the most Oda thing I've ever seen.
I mean,
he's
he's
been
always been
telegraphing this.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
consistent.
Obasan time.
I was going to say very Obahan fear.
Yeah.
Like
The
there's a
enemy
fear
of
in it.
adventure is a woman trying to take down your ship.
It'd be funnier if they were smashing the ship with like rolling pins.
No, it's
Well, she's got the
almost
ladle.
there.
She's got the
Yeah.
ladle.
Does have a ladle,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the soup
The only-
ladle.
This is straight up just the continuation of Andy Cap for the old people in the audience. Even
Yeah,
remember
This
that.
Oda's
is
having big mom withdrawals right now.
Yeah,
Handicap,
I
you
miss
like
her
being
too.
drunk.
I do love the idea of a series now that Oda does after this, where it's a kaiju series, but it's just moms.
Mom Jews.
Mom Jews.
Kaiju.
No, that doesn't really sound right. Yeah.
Think of that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll write it down, but it works better in print than it does out loud.
That's fair.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. So we get the shot of these two women, giant women who are like really big because even they made the other giants look tiny. One's holding a ladle, which I think maybe a cleaver on her back. Some sort of like
Yeah, it's
Yeah, like a big
definitely
fish
like a
knife sort of
Japanese
thing.
cooking. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I assumed it was. And then another woman just completely barehanding it, just ripping off the oars
That
from the
so
hanging
much
off the
looks
side.
like Big Mom, like so Big Mom
They-
energy there.
They
yeah.
both do, but yeah, that bottom woman,
No,
especially
the
Shark
top
teeth.
one. The top one is very just Obahan, in
I
my
mean,
opinion. It's like,
I specifically love this panel because it's definitely evocative when Big Mom landed on the Sunny. I forget what
Exactly.
chapter number that was.
you're
Oh,
It was
right.
Such a good chapter. When
The
that
composition on
just
this is
down.
excellent. I like
Yeah.
this. It's very
Yeah.
different than what we usually see, and we also finally get to see the guy out of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons again with the mustache, the one with no eyes.
Oh yeah.
My favorite one. I don't know his name.
The also it's funny too because the one joke several chapters ago about one kid being afraid of his mom, and turned out that was the most dangerous one of them all. They were wrecking through just monsters and lizards and giant skeleton people, but nope, can't handle giant ladies. You know how
The
it
most
is.
the most dangerous game of all. Mom.
Wait, and then they go, wait, that's our worst fear too. And then they go, God, we can't fight. Our morale is getting hammered. And then the close-up shot, even Dory and Brogy are like completely shocked.
This is excellent.
Oimo is taken
I
down,
love
and
it.
then
He's
I can't
literally
believe-
taken down. Yes.
yeah, and like fucking Brogy's like hugging onto Kashi.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I love it.
There's a
That reaction shot is so funny. I
Yeah,
love
it
the
is.
composition of it. Like, you were just talking about that top-down composition, but I love seeing these guys in the foreground doing their like face fault.
I meant the whole
Reaction
thing,
shot.
but yeah.
yeah,
Big
it's
sharp
amazing.
tongue sticking out.
right. And
Yeah,
that
this is-
they're pointed toward them in the
Yeah.
upper panel.
It's excellent. This
You know,
was
also
when I
just
saw
re-
this, I'm like, this is excellent.
You know, I also just recognized. I was thinking, like, did we ever seen them do a face fault like this? And we did. When Brogy, or no, Dory ended up alive at the end of Little Garden.
Yeah.
Brogy made this exact same face.
Yeah.
You're
Except
right,
I think
you're
his
right.
lips were out, but like his lips were pursed as opposed, but his eyes were bugging out.
It is just fun to see these like these giants reacting this way. But although
There's-
this is a gag out of a 1950s set,
Yeah, these guys are like the Loyal Order of the Water Buffaloes.
right. Oh my God,
from-
it's a Flintstones bit. That's what it is.
Yeah. Oh no! Fuck, we're gonna get in trouble.
There's even like there's a bit of like a not a double joke, but like there's a part of the joke that works even cleaner in Japanese, because when they say mommy, they use the term kachan, which is, that's basically what most people recognize as like a little kid's like very diminutive sort of version of referring to their mom. But that is also it's not like that it's something that everyone would use, but it is a fairly common term that like a man would use to refer to his wife. Like even if she might not even be a mother, but like that's just like, oh, it's kachan, that's my old lady, sort of a thing. And I specifically remember like one of the first times that I saw this used when I didn't understand what it was way back in the day when I was translating the Logtown for my website before it was ever published in English. And I thought like, oh, that's so funny when like the scene with Zoro and Ippon Matsu, when like the woman comes out and like smacks him on the head, and he goes, kachan, I'm sorry, and I'm thinking to myself like, oh, that's so funny. His mom came out and smacked him, and like he lives with his mom, like that's such a funny joke. And then it wasn't until a couple of years later that I went back to like sort of revisit the material, and I realized like, oh wait, that's his wife. That's like that's not his mother. It's his wife. Okay, I get it now. And so it works a little cleaner in Japanese here because they recognize that, when they say mommy, they're referring to their wives. They're not referring to like, their mom or the kid's mom or whatever. But to be
fair, one of the weirdest parts about being a parent is referring to yourself as daddy and your wife as mommy is bizarre.
In front of the children, yeah.
In front of, I mean, it's weird.
It's Mike. I mean, they're just a boatload of Mike Pences. Is that still relevant?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Thankfully not yet.
I'm done.
Brian's son, Joey.
Okay. Well, I was sketching a Savaro pizza, but then I realized I did pizzas with Saul the last time.
Always more pizzas. More pizza. That's what I always say. Okay. That's my catchphrase. More pizza.
So I'll set that down for now. So on the next page, the Vikings, the Giants, like continue with the like "take my wife, please" jokes here. I'm sorry for always going out drinking, dear. I'm sorry for forgetting to take out the trash, dear. I'm sorry for eating the honey cake that was for the guests. And I'm sure, Oda can now frame this and give it to his wife.
Yes, I'm sure that'll go over well.
I'm sure he's done these things.
But the funniest part of this is imagining some sort of, sanitation system at Elbaf where they have to take out trash on a curb on the tree or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't separate the burnables and the recyclables.
I forgot.
Yeah, so is there like a giant like trash collecting man, I guess?
That's that's what's really getting me here.
Like rose up in his like floating trash truck, and
they have a fire department, so
they do.
It's true. What? I mean, it's a functional society, so somebody's got to do something with that garbage. So
look, Noah's almost 4. He hasn't read One Piece yet, but this is his favorite arc. It has garbage men, it has fire trucks. It's for the 4-year-olds. Go ahead.
Okay, so they're saying that they're ripping off the island clouds and they're gonna fall. Everyone's screaming and it crashes into the trees, into the branches, and Summers laughs at this. Gee ha ha ha! The giant pirate ship has crashed. So much for their bluster. And then he kind of says as an aside, some of those sleep tids were real beasts. A detail I love about this is that he's got this kind of like thorn creature that he's created that he can ride along.
It's a thorn snake.
It gives him a little bit more. I know people were remarking that the thorn powers don't seem quite as impressive, but it's cool that he can make his own like thorn creatures. The kids' chances of rescue are dwindling by the minute. Now, Beard Hill Yarul warrior of legend. It's time for us to talk. And Jarl's just kind of like, oh, what's going on? You mean Dory and Brogy are down? And so with no king on the throne, he is now the boss around here. And we see Ripley running towards the crash, saying that it's crashed, and she hopes they're all right. As Summers continues, our goal here is quite simple: to make you giants our slaves in battle. The next step is to find out how effective these kids will be as hostages. So it's interesting that they weren't taking the kids to like necessarily do something with them specifically. And he's saying that he bets they're all wondering whose kids are the 10 hostages. And then we get what cements this as really being in the thick of a One Piece arc here. Finally, a map.
A chibi map.
Yes, with all the characters around. On the far right side, we see the library and school with Anjay and Principal Tusk and Killingham, who has a nice burst. I kind of like how the villains all have like a little burst, which I assume has that sort of like JRPG like sound effect when they pop up. And then up at the crash, we've got Ripley and Frankie approaching, and the giant pirates, Dory, Brogy, and Mr. Ya, are on the crash itself. In the middle of the tree, we've got Summers and Gunko, and Saul and the rest of the Straw Hat Pirates, who are kind of watching as the 10 children are approaching the end of the tree, the left side where the castle is, and the village, which is where the ship is, and the like rainbow thing down, and that's where
it's called the Rainbow
Jarl
Connection.
is as well.
The Bifrost.
Yeah. So yeah, I loved this. I was very excited to see this map. I think the maps are a thing that I kind of like go back and forth, but it's a thing that I will occasionally roll my eyes at when I see them too often, but when I don't see them, I miss them.
I get confused.
Yeah.
Should I ruin this for everyone?
Are we gonna talk about this?
Steven,
I mean,
can you?
Yeah. Well, I didn't really think about this, but then
Dan,
I saw Dan,
posted
Dan,
it,
our
I
good
can't
friend
unsee
Dan
it.
at Game Apartment 1C
I
did
see
point
it
out
now.
that the tree does have a
quality
rather
stuff.
impressive treeness here.
It's phallic. It's Freud would have a field day.
I don't even think Freud needs to. I'm sure Oda would willingly admit that the qualities of it.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a mushroom tip on the end there.
Oh
I did not see that until you started talking about it. I was like,
No,
oh,
that I
can't
did
not
see.
it.
but no, I didn't see it until Dan's thing. But I'll say, having like done some tree work literally around my house this week, that's not how they look. That's not how branches. they have other branches coming off of them. Usually, it's not just.
It also helps sells this. It's the waterfall too.
The waterfall, the bushes in the the on both ends.
Oh, the little
But
buildings.
the buildings on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say, swerving off this topic,
Oh,
but
you're trying.
The thing that I was really impressed when I saw this map is like how like uncomplicated the staging of everything is
That's
at the
true,
moment.
yeah.
It's very simple, and I find that refreshing.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
It's not Dressrosa anymore.
Or not even Dressrosa. Wano, Onigashima.
Wano had a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Wano was
Wano.
confusing. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the maps. I mean, I
I-
do love the cheapified, as we call them.
Yeah.
Folks. Yeah.
And on that topic too, I do love that when Ripley is running towards the ship, she is doing the action figure hold with Frankie as
Outstanding.
Lilith and Bonnie are floating along with her.
Yeah,
But
I
you
know
could
you
definitely-
guys mentioned that last
Oh.
time, but like the way she held onto him when you fired
Yeah.
his laser.
Yeah. Stephen here.
All right. So yes, the before we got sidetracked with all of that, yes, we're about to talk about who the 10 kids are. So this is Anjay's job. So she says into the pill bug, these are the names of the children who were kidnapped. First up, Ilva, who we did know. We did know this little girl was Ilva, and she's just crying. Wah! And Jarl chimes in, Ylva, my granddaughter's granddaughter.
Isn't everyone your granddaughter? in this town, I isn't. The Ilva one does break my heart. I just want to say.
Yeah,
that's a good crying face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And next we have Scaldi, who we did see. He's the second in the line with the little horned goggle helmet thing. He's thinking, is there anything we can do for ourselves? And then there's Olav, who we did hear his name before. He's got like little chubby cheeks, and he's got a big, framed looking helmet. And he's saying to himself, "It's a dream. It's all a dream." So he's got the Usopp genes for sure. And then Oimo speaks up to Brogy. He says, "That's my grandson, Captain." As Brogy grunts in pain. And I do think that there might be a joke here because Oimo, I don't know if it comes across. I don't think it comes across in English, in the English version. But like Oimo's thing is that, especially when you see him in Enies Lobby and his personality is being established, is that
it's and me too, that kind of
yeah thing. Yeah, it's like it's sort of like Oi is supposed to be me and Mo is the particle for two, and so he would like say his sentences like Oimo blah 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 blah, and so yeah, it was essentially as if his name was Me Too. And so he would just use that whenever possible. And so it made me wonder, it's like if Olav is, so in the katakana, it's Orabu. And it reminded me of the fact that Son Goku has this very distinctive, like sort of hick sounding regional accent that his first person pronoun is Ora. So that's why, like his classic line is Os, Ora Goku.
Yeah, every next episode preview in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. And so I wonder if maybe that's what Oda was going for, that Oimo's grandson is Orabu. But I don't know. We'll have to see if he ever comments on that. Next we have Karin, who looks like she's got a little bit of a Queen Healing look here with the pointed nose.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, and she's got like headphones on or mufflers or something, and she's like, "I always have the worst luck," as she sighs to herself. And then Mag, he's the big one, who's bigger than all the others, and with a little Frankie pompadour, and he's like, "I'm supposed to be strong, but I can't stop." So he's trying. He's struggling against the sort of the body hypnosis.
That's fun. I wonder if Oda's watched Game of Thrones, because Mag is the name of one of the giants in Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
I think he has, because I think Greg recommended it to him, and I think he did watch it. Many years.
I don't think they ever really gave them personalities in the show. So
no.
But
I mean, that might be where the name came from. Yeah.
And then we have Ronya, the robber's daughter here. With her, I love her design. She's got the little like Pippi Longstocking braids and some hippo teeth here, and she's like, "Don't worry, it'll all work out."
The only one with a positive outlook right
now.
we all need a Ronya around.
Yeah. And somewhere at one of the villages, I guess, where they are under attack from a kraken, there's a giant going, "Why did it have to be my child? Branch 8, right? I'm on my way." So, he's already having
He's got the hair to match.
Yeah.
It's like a scorpion tail.
That must be her dad.
Oh, and the one with the teeth. Yeah. Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I didn't that right away. Yeah.
And now we see the aforementioned Bent, who, true to character, says, "Mommy's going to yell at me."
I feel so sorry for this kid.
So Bent was it was just that random guy's son.
Yeah, it was the one.
But I'm pretty sure he is the kid during the initial reveal of the sleep dids, that he is the kid who says like, "I'm afraid of my mom." Because I remember his little hair lick.
Oh, they did? Okay. I thought they didn't show who it was. Yeah, okay.
We've seen a lot of these kids before.
Yeah, with the soft serve hair.
Yes. Yeah.
Great designs all around.
Very little weak chin there. And then we have Johanna, who's kind of one of the more interesting designs, because she does have the dark horns that suggest that she has some ancient giant blood, perhaps. Although she is the same. She's the same size as all the others, so it's not like a Loki situation.
I'm sure she's related to Nefertari Vivi, because that is just her as a kid. Doesn't she look just like that?
What?
She does look like Vivi, but But
as
she
a
doesn't
kid.
have.
When Fifi was a
But she
kid.
doesn't have
I mean,
parents, and I think the more obvious connection is to someone else we know with black horns in this arc.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
And she's like huffing, and she's like, "At least you have parents." So she's
Ben
definitely,
feels like a jackass now.
the mean girl of the school here.
Yeah.
And then there's Bjorn, who he looks like he would be like Roto's like child or his nephew or something. He's got he's like, oh, can't at least I be saved? So he's trying to come up with a plan to free only himself.
He's great. What a great little asshole.
Yeah. Which Johanna notices, like she looks over her shoulder. It's like, did you just say what I think you did, Bjorn? He's like, sorry. And Anjay sums it up. That makes 9. But just now, hoping to save his friends, a little warrior named Colin showed up to join the group. So that makes 10. And that's the point where Ripley bolts upright in her airplane seat and goes, Colin! Like Catherine O'Hara. And yeah, she has the she reacts to that, of course. And Gabon is there. He is resting in her palms. And he's like, did you hear that, Ripley? Our son's a hero. He's very delighted by this. And she's like, that's not the time for that.
I love this. My favorite bit of the chapter here.
Yeah, it is.
Read the room.
By the
pirate.
By the way, she got there quick. She was like right near the ship, but it's funny how it's just
She got long legs.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
So is this is Summers, yeah. And then Summers says, and now our commands. Heed them closely, Elbaf.
Ed.
Okay. Your school is completely useless in war, and your library is packed full of pointless records of the past. You will burn them down right now and swear fealty to us. If you do not, we will eliminate the brats one at a time. And you hear, help us. And I guess it's Ripley saying, what are they talking about? Other giants are like, we know where the kids are. Let's go save them. I want to smash these guys. Not like that.
No, literally.
And now Summers directly says, you have to make the call, Chief Jarl.
Me? I just have a sword through my brain. I guess I could make a decision here.
Yeah, he's like half aware of what's going on.
Yeah, I'm only half a millennia old with a sword through my brain. Yeah. I think I could make this decision.
He's like, me? No, wait, please, it's too cruel.
Or is that Angie?
That's
Angie. That's Angie, but it would be funny if that's what he said too.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. It's too cruel. I'm too old and I have a sword through my brain.
It's implied.
Yes. Angie continues, the school is the symbol of Elbaf's current state of peace, and the library is full of Elbaf's ancient history, as well as knowledge of the world saved through the sacrifice of O'Hara's scholars. It's a fortune that belongs to more than just Elbaf. It belongs in a museum.
Sorry. I'm like, where does it say that? Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Summers sort of talking to himself like, calm down, lady. And when he's back into the briar patch, Chopper's like, no, Robin, you can't. And I don't know who's saying this, but it's saying, please, Mr. Ya.
Ripley
saying, please, Mr. Ya.
I'm just surprised she calls him that, but okay.
Same.
Yeah.
That's their term of endearment, I guess.
Please, Daddy, don't go.
It's their pet. It's their pet name.
And we see Robin getting into Devil for using formation and getting into her pose thing, and Gabon with his hand on his axe over his shoulder, and they're saying, "I won't let them do this." Blam. Yeah. To be continued.
What a great! I love this specifically.
Yeah.
By the way, Robin confirmed his emu. I guess I just hear, I do hear a subset of fans. It's like they have the same eyes, Those
eyes are wild.
They
Yeah.
are wild.
Yeah, Robin's about to go feral here.
I think that, well, to be fair, she should be going feral. I get it.
Yes.
But I think he did one too many lines on those eyes, maybe. But it's still cool.
And Robin's got her old nose back, too.
Finally, the hair and the nose.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Now we just need the skin color from the pre-time skip, and we're good.
Good luck on that.
I'm working on it. I keep calling Toy. They don't answer me.
Manifesting it.
Yeah, manifesting. Joey, why don't we start with you? What did you think of this chapter?
Okay, yeah. I mean, Robin and Gabon, what a cool ass team up. I hope that it really happens, because it would be it's two characters I wouldn't have naturally thought to pair together, but it would be really awesome to see them work together in some way. That would be very cool. I thought this was a great chapter. I thought it ramped up the stakes and made the Holy Knights seem more viscerally evil in a way that I think was necessary. I think we've all been kind of remarking on how much we kind of like them and stuff, and we're like, oh, but they're bad. Obviously they're bad, but I think in the way that they're acting here is just like really, really cuts down to just like how terrible they are.
Yes.
And even Gunko, who like everyone was kind of anticipating her being like, oh my gosh, are you sulking? Actually, I'll join you in your mission, is actually
never thought
knows
that.
exactly who he is and wants him to sing for her, and has just the same amount of sort of depraved
Yes, it's
of a view.
Tom Jones with the gun in his back, like, big smile. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. And speaking of Gunko, we know that Oda had said a few SBSs ago that he was fascinated with working on like girls' butts instead of boobs for a while, and I feel like he still kind of needs to work on that anatomy a little bit. There's some kind of awkward,
He needs to work on all of the anatomy
and stuff
with that. I mean, that's
I think he just hasn't practiced as much as he has on the upper part of the
no,
torso.
he's also bad at that. The whole thing is very he is not you know what, I'm gonna just stay out of this. Brian is just like, nope, you're wrong about that.
But I do love this moment, like what we were saying about like how Brooke can kind of flip from cool to uncool, and he's definitely flipped the cool switch here in a way that I'm very excited about.
Yeah,
and it would be
here's
cool
your problem. You got it set to uncool.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another like pairing. I knew that they were going to interact with each other, but I didn't think that they would actually fight each other, and now it's looking more like that may happen, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, more fun sleep tids as well. Like I think we'd kind of like worked through the initial ones that we saw, and they're still sprinkled throughout, but it's cool to see some new ones that we weren't working with in the earlier chapters. And I already said this, but I love the composition of that mom panel. I think it's like classic slapstick in a way that's like really, really great, and kind of calls back to old cartoons and old manga too. That's got kind of that Osamatsu-san reaction thing. And I think this was a really great and very exciting chapter, and I can't wait for 2 weeks from now when hopefully we'll have another chapter.
Brian, what do you and your cat think of this episode? Sorry. We have two cats I'm looking at now, so this is great.
Yeah, she's just being my usual bother. This chapter was fun. A lot of fun. I'm only sad because I came on expecting that maybe I get my boy Roto on there. I love that little asshole too. I love that asshole. He's such a prick.
Yeah, okay.
But
man, that's such a perfect. Of course, you would love that guy. That's
yeah.
very good.
I love problematic characters because they're the most fun when they get their comeuppance.
It's true. It's true, and he's gotten it several times.
Yeah. But yeah, this chapter is fun. A lot of big speech making from Sumners, and I think you perfectly called it, Joey. That now, like, even though they're kind of like fun or distinct personalities of the Holy Knights, now the threat isn't fully there. It's like not only just kidnapping the children, but erasure of history, which is
yes. Well, that is the government's. Yeah, it really connects them more to the world government, which is what I liked about it.
Right, and it's great because we all know that there just seems to be like they do their job. They don't take it seriously, but like they're doing heinous stuff.
Well, yeah, and someone's giving them orders. And their order was to destroy the O'Hara library.
Yeah, and they don't even question it. They're just like, that useless history junk. Just burn it, or we'll kidnap your kids. I'm like, all right.
Or didn't they say they were going to eliminate the children?
Yes, because even Gunko mentioned, I think last chapter or the chapter before, she doesn't even understand the concept of hostages. It just shows that she doesn't care about anything except apparently Soge King's music. Not Soge King, Soul King's music.
Soge King's music, also very good.
Not yet. I think
Well,
I've been theorizing.
He has that one single.
He's a good karaoke singer.
That's true.
Yeah.
Soge
That's
King.
true.
Sniper
That's what
Island.
it is.
But no, I'm fully on board that we might see Soge King into this arc, or maybe very soon before the series is over. Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm like, deuce, cross my fingers. No, it's fun to see the also different locations of the Elbaf villages. Now we got like the Craftsman village and the Hunter village. I'm assuming that when things really ramp up, that all of them will come into play, because right now the stakes still seem on the good guy's favor. Like, it's hard to imagine that with all these powerful giants, and like Luffy and the others aren't even involved super yet, that they could possibly lose. So unless Gunko, Killin, and Sumners have something super up their sleeve, there has to be another switch that needs to be flipped before I'm like, oh wait, they're fucked. Because right now I think like they could probably handle this. So far, I haven't seen anything that doesn't suggest otherwise.
I kind of want to see Gear 5 Luffy fighting Sleepnids with his powers.
Yeah, it's like the guy who believes in all dreams fighting the thing that creates all these dreams and nightmares. Plus, we also have like Scopper Gabon right now. I'm like, who's gonna wreck him? But like maybe these Holy Knights are tougher than we thought. We haven't yet to see them properly contest against the immortality, and I guess that's the thing that's known, because Saul called it out immediately. It's like, hide because they're immortal. You can't.
Well, he was a vice admiral. Like it does make sense then.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Mr. Ya before. I think we might have talked about this when he first showed up, but it's from Gyaban. Gyaban.
Gyaban, yeah. Gyaban.
Yeah, we mentioned that, and it's Brian, anything else?
I don't think so. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out, while we were reading it, it just occurred to me. Beyond the little dickhead kid, because he does have a dickhead, he's David Spade.
Shit, you're right.
Absolutely.
Oh my god. Can you cast all of them now?
I'll try.
Well, not right this second.
That is the other thing. That did remind me. It's funny too. I think Oda does this occasionally, but this is my headcanon on it. This is basically the next generation of giant pirates.
Yeah.
These 10 kids.
Oh yeah,
that's a good point.
Kind of like mirror the Straw Hats in a lot of ways too.
Yeah. They all are good personality. Like, you get a lot just from the little we've seen of them so far.
Yep. Distinct in style, distinct in personalities, and they're already formed together. So this traumatic experience might push them to the high seas.
Yeah,
they might literally get pushed to the high seas here.
Yeah, Colin's the captain.
What's happening. Yeah. I mean, I also mentioned that Joanna might be Loki's daughter if he has any children, because the no parent suggestion is very telling in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I feel like alarm bells definitely went off when I saw a character with horns say, "I have no parents."
Right.
It's just like, it's two very distinct things. Like, even if she isn't necessarily Loki related, she doesn't have to, but I could see it going either way. I could see Oda just kind of trying to mix and match different interesting elements when having the characters all say different stuff and have different design elements and stuff, but it does seem very distinct.
Yeah, because I feel like Loki, what little we know about him right now, he needs... I never thought he'd be the main antagonist to this arc, but he needs something to solidify himself as more of a heroic or protagonist figure right now.
He needs to be more of a participant in the current story.
Right, as opposed to just like, I'm just going to blow everything up. Ha ha ha.
He's blowing himself up right now in size from eating.
That's it. I'm done.
Thank you, Brian.
And Loki's getting larger.
There it is.
Can I say one thing that you made me remember I was going to say about Summers? a thing I kind of picked up on in this chapter. I know a couple chapters ago he was saying some very like poetic dialogue that we were trying to kind of decipher and figure out what that is all about. I think he kind of has more of that here, where he says things like, "I'm a dagger sent straight from sacred Mary Joa."
Yep.
Like, I think this is maybe kind of a quirk of his character, is that he likes to speak in this kind of flowery way.
Yeah,
I get
He's
it.
like an old poet at heart.
Yeah, he's it's funny because he tends to kind of vacillate between a couple different states, which is that he's the blowhard who just like won't shut up when you want him to stop talking, but I think he is also kind of prone to like twists of maybe not wordplay, but
Turns of phrase.
turns of phrase, poetry a little bit. He's very puffed up on himself for sure, and he enjoys living it up.
These are, I mean, to like kind of echo, I guess, what Brian was saying earlier. These are good villains because they're so three-dimensional. You have reason to hate them, but you also are like
they're quirky
by their quirks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Steven, thoughts?
I think what I like about this chapter so much, I was thinking about this, and we've been in Elbaf for a little while now, and it is a very complex setting. Like, there's just so much to the island of Elbaf, to the tree, to the society, to to the different characters that are being introduced and the locations and things, that it has been, just kind of this crash course of exposition of, establishing different things and introducing characters and concepts and, terminology and all of that. And I feel like this chapter, we actually kind of hit a plateau where there wasn't really any new information to kind of assimilate into our understanding of the arc. And so for a chapter that is as dense as it is, like, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of text, there's a lot of action and stuff that is going on. It's pretty much all it's directly pitting antagonistic characters against each other, characters who are established. We don't really necessarily need to know that much more about them. We kind of get what Gunko's deal is, and Sommers and Killingham, and aside from maybe the name and the personalities of some of the kids here, it's pretty much all working with information that we already had, and so it just feels like a lot more is happening, because we're not just like, okay, what do I need to learn in this chapter? What do I need to add to my understanding? It's just moving us through and allowing the drama to play out in ways that I found to be very satisfying, because it finally felt like, all four tires are on the asphalt here in this chapter. Like, we're really moving through this, and I thought that was very satisfying overall. I don't know, there's just a lot of fun stuff, good action, good jokes, good cool moments for Brooke and for Robin and Gabon, and I'm really looking forward to what they end up cooking with.
Ed.
I think the best part of this chapter for me was really connecting this back to the world government's gripe, or their aim with destroying the library. And I guess they would be, part of their aim is to get the giants on their side and for the war to come, but also finally finishing their business from O'Hara actually destroying the library. So it makes sense. But as I said before, I think my favorite part of the chapter was Gabon being like, "Hey baby, our son's a hero," and she's like, "Not right now, honey. Come on."
He's being kidnapped. Can we save this for later?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a pirate through and through.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
it's
most,
a very, yeah.
So yeah, Colin is going to be the captain of the new giant pirates one day.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts? Ed? Yeah, sorry, Colin.
He's a trendsetter. He's gonna all the kids are gonna want to be heroes and warriors now.
It's funny because I've been a couple of weeks ago when this arc started, or months at this point, I started watching Vicky the Viking because it's all up on YouTube, and just
cool.
It's
just
free
the, like,
and official, I think. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
Yep. And I've been watching. I've seen so many references to Oda's been drawing from Vicky the Viking throughout all of One
Well,
Piece.
we've known about his fandom of that for a long time.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was in the SBS, I think in the first volume, maybe the second.
Early, yeah. I don't know if was there an SBS in the first?
No, it started by like the 5th volume or so.
Okay, so yeah, it was at least that
It was
far.
very early, yeah.
Yeah. And so when Colin showed up, I was like, let me read Vicky the Viking because I'm sure there's going to be references. And like Vicky is the complete opposite of Colin, and I think that's intentional because Vicky is not he's brave, but he's not like strong at all. He doesn't charge headfirst in the battle. He's very like thoughtful and trying like let's figure out a different solution than just like bashing someone's head in.
Also the opposite of Luffy.
Yeah, exactly. So like seeing him do a little like Viking-esque type character who's like the tiny Viking versus the biggest little child Viking. He's just like, no, I'm just gonna rush in there. You guys are a bunch of crybabies. I'm a warrior. It's like, oh, you're basically painting your childhood hero in the opposite light. That's very funny, Oda.
Anything else, Ed?
No, a very good chapter overall. This is one of my favorites, I think, of the arc so far. Like I didn't feel more confused about where we're going after it was over.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Ed. This was a really, really fun one, and even though we made the joke before I think we started recording that there is a ton of dialogue and a ton of text, it did not feel like a long one. It moved quick, which is not always the case with One Piece chapters, for good and for bad. But God, no, I really, it was a very funny chapter. But I think my favorite part of Elbaf compared to a lot of post-time skip arcs generally is that this is an arc instead of an arc where the Straw Hats are there but not about them. This one really centers around the Straw Hats in a way we have not seen since pre-time skip, really. Like I can't look, the Straw Hats are always important characters in their own story, sure, but they are Oda really sometimes misses the opportunity to make the story more about these characters that we care, and he's like done such a good job developing.
The story is more entertaining when the Straw Hats are the focus, and usually funnier too.
And I think the stakes feel higher even when they're not, when a Straw Hat is involved. So for example here, Robin and Brooke really shining in this chapter. Like we mentioned it a little, but like Brooke is a character I think often that we discuss on the podcast is like ranked lower on people's like minds or opinions of him because he hasn't had a lot of development because he came in so late.
He peaked in his introduction arc, possibly.
That's what has been said, but I'm like, this gives me some hope that we're going to get more Brooke. I think Brooke is a fantastic character, always extremely funny, has fun powers. He's a fun character, but he is often underutilized. I mean, Whole Cake Island is a big exception where I think he was very well utilized, but the more Brooke stuff, I think, the better.
Well, partly that's due because this last half of the series, since we got to the New World on, it's not about the Straw Hats individually anymore. Which that first half was about them individually through Robin, Frankie, Chopper, Usopp, Nami, Sanji, all the rest, and it's just like now it's like and the rest. The bigger scope means that the characters who we love to focus the most on because they're the most thoroughly dimensional take a backseat too often. And for too long periods of time.
And I understand why Oda is doing that from a storytelling perspective and just like keeping so many balls in the air because he's like, he throws 8,000 characters into every new arc, including this chapter that introduces 9, people. Even though some of them, I guess, have been introduced prior. But what I really enjoyed about this chapter, and especially the end with Robin, is I was reading it and getting angry as a reader because you're like, shit, they fought so hard to get this stuff here. Think of all the sacrifice that has happened over the course of 27 years of reading the series to like for this library that exists here, and they're just gonna frickin' burn it down, which is still possible. But like, I feel Robin's ire here, and obviously I feel Gabon's ire as well. So it and yes, the idea of a team up with these two is crazy and fun, a fun idea. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but because also Gabon's far away, but he's a fast guy, I guess. He could get from place to place. So yeah, no, that for me was what made this chapter especially good. But even putting that aside, the humor in this chapter, Oda's been on it with it. I mean, yes, maybe slightly Flintstonesy 60s humor, but
late 50s, mid 50s.
Late 50s. But still
the little honeymooners.
The little honeymooners.
To the moon, Alice.
But the joke is on, it's the whole punching down thing, you know, like this isn't that, it's the joke is on the guys here, I think.
Yeah, they're a bunch of goons who can't,
they're
afraid of their wives because they're going out doing goon shit.
Not that
when you go out and sail the seven seas instead of taking the trash down to the
just take the trash out, the giant trash. I know it's big.
Ew,
but you're big.
Garbage water.
Yeah, men will sail the Grand Line instead of taking their
instead of going to therapy. God, Luffy, that really explains a lot, actually. God, imagine if Luffy had gone to therapy this whole series. Lost track of it. No, but the humor was excellent. The character, all the kids are fantastic. I agree with everything that's been said. They each feel so three-dimensional, even though we have seen so little of them, which is really fantastic. I love how immediately getting... I mean, I had touched on this, but the Gabon-Ripley relationship, like this is the first time we're actually seeing them interact, and you immediately get what that relationship is probably like. Not to say, like, Ripley is not an Obahan, obviously, by any stretch of the imagination. But, like, come on, Gabon, let's talk about this later. It's great that he, was willing to sacrifice himself for a greater good, but he's also, like, 20 years old. Come on. He's not ready for that yet. I will continue to remind people that he's 20 years old.
The weird giant ages, yeah.
Yeah, it still confuses the shit out of me. As like a concept. And the Sleep Tids were really, like, going through it with you guys. I read this quicker today, but, like, the Sleep Tids really have been excellent. I am very excited. I think I said this about Egghead, but I am very excited to read this in one go when all is said and done. Because there's a lot to appreciate, and when you're week to week, especially with weeks off, you lose some of that appreciation, I think, personally. So I'm trying to put myself in check here and say this was a pretty damn cool chapter. I really enjoyed it. Any other thoughts on it?
No, that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay. Given that, we are gonna go into the next segment right after these messages. This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, and theories, and then take them to the Loyal Order of the Giant Pirates, where we'll drink beer and not take out the trash. Before those are the two rules. So before we get into our usual Piece Together, none of the folks here were here last week when we did our trivia. So if you want to take a guess as I read through these, please go for it. I know Joey loves trivia in particular. But for those who don't know, these were the trivia questions from Ben Wild, a fan of ours who has been doing this, as he mentions, the first time since was in episode 365, which aired out of our podcast, which aired on April 20th, 2015. So this is the 11th of these contests he has done. And he donates $20 per question. We were 2 away from a clean sweep is what he said. So we've actually did pretty good. Yeah, shocked. So you guys could guess if you want, but I'm not going to give you a ton of time. Yeah.
Play Jeopardy style.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could buzz in. This character's gun shoots dice as bullets.
I
Who's
feel
Mr.
like they
Seven?
nailed that. Good job.
Yeah, and we did. Mr. Seven's correct. I love, by the way, Brian is hitting his unmute button like it is a actual Jeopardy buzzer.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. So we got that one right, Mr. Seven. What is the title of the song that Brooke uses to wake up his crew, new and old? This one stumped me. I didn't remember this at all, and I still don't.
I just saw.
I was impressed that Jill knew a name of a song to that.
And I'll give you this hint. Jill was not that far off. Like, annoyingly close.
It's like New Day or New Morning or something.
No.
No. Okay.
Not even close, apparently.
Wow.
That's what I would have guessed something like that. Steven, do you have any memory of... I'm just curious.
No. The only Brooke song that I remember was the Mermaid song that he sang.
Mermaid Do.
Yeah. New Mermaid.
The answer is for both crews, he sang, I have no memory of this, I want to say, Black Handkerchief of Happiness. Black Handkerchief of Happiness.
The of happiness part is familiar, but the rest of it, I'm like, what?
Wow.
The guess we
I
had
don't
was
remember
White
that.
Handkerchief. So Jill
Damn.
was just, I believe
close.
that was the answer. Yeah. I'm shocked because I have no memory of this. Now, this one we debated for at least an hour. What is the first type of dial that we see used in the Skypiea arc? And I hear people about to kick themselves for this one. Because this you could just you don't have to think out loud for it. Just give me any answer that comes from
Breath dial, right?
close. Say that. I'll say close. Anyone else?
Is it the sound dial? Is it when they find it
Mm-mm.
on the ship?
That's what I thought.
No? Okay.
That was mine.
I listen to you guys like Steve reads the manga. I listen to the show. I listen to you guys debate this, and they all sounded totally plausible to me, but I have no idea.
So
I don't know. Was it the waiver one?
I think so. I kind of wish he gave the specifics here. A wind dial was the answer.
Yeah.
I thought I don't know the difference between breath, wind, and jet. That's my question.
Yeah.
I think a jet dial was the
fair.
ancient one. We talked about that a little bit. But what's the difference between a breath dial and a wind dial? Does one
probably just degrees.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. This one, I'll get to in a sec. Wait. This artist sang, "My sails are set" in the live-action One Piece. Now, what's amazing is we accidentally got this correct. Just thinking that we were wrong. Anyone remember?
I know.
I don't even remember.
She's a great singer.
And she's actually very well known, which is why none of us were sure. Brian, do you want to take a guess? Because we guessed correctly. I think you could probably just say a name or word.
I'm absolutely embarrassed. I don't remember her name. You know, I do listen to that song.
Do you remember what letter it starts with?
Lisa, like an L?
No, not even close. Okay. L is totally not the letter. It's one of the other 25.
All right.
Aurora was the correct answer, and we somehow got that. I don't know how we put that together.
Good call.
And the last one we got, although he misspells it here, this character's first appearance was in Chapter 528. They are 46, born on April 2nd, and 301 centimeters tall, and currently have a bounty of 1.1 billion berry. The hint here that Steve had is it's the birthday of a certain member of our crew. So
what chapter again?
528.
And currently has a bounty of what?
1.1 billion.
Oh, it's a fucking Jinbei.
It is fucking Jinbei.
Yeah.
That's his full name.
Yeah.
We just found out today.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Can I write that down as
That's
an
his
episode
full
name?
legal name. The Fishman Island, the Fishman District didn't keep good records, so.
No, that's true. They didn't.
Yeah.
What was it? Jinbei first? Fucking Jinbei, first son of the sea. And his
Yeah.
blood type is F.
The throw off F, yeah, because Luffy's blood. It's the
Take
throw off
my effing
is
blood.
the bounty number being that high that early kind of threw me off. But then I was like, wait, that's clearly impelled down because it's 528.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
like,
the bounty is his current bounty.
right, that's what
Yeah.
threw me off because
Yeah.
that was not his original bounty. His original bounty is like 437 or 4 something.
Yeah, so thank you, Ben Wild. Those were fun. Those were fucking tough.
Very
Much
good.
like Jinbei, It was fucking tough. Okay, who's doing? Joey, you're doing our next segment, right? On Piece Together?
Piece.
Joey really selling it.
So our first question is from Big Mike, who says, I have an important question. So get ready, folks. Since Brooke is old, how do the Straw Hat men decide who has to give Brooke his sponge bath every week? Do they take turns? Do they draw straws? Straw hats? Do they argue over who has to do it while Brooke pesters Nami and Robin to bathe him? I hope Yamato is omitted from having to bathe him when he becomes a core member of the crew.
Do bones get... I mean, like, fossils are... I guess they're dirty. You have to brush them off. But, like, does he really need the full treatment? Also... he did take a bath
Maybe
in Whole
Frankie
Cake
just
Island.
kind of power washes him, you know.
Oh, with a buffer.
I like that.
Yeah, I can tell you the women definitely do
Absolutely
not wash them.
don't go
Definitely
near
not
him.
Nami.
I
Yeah.
don't think they go
No,
near him.
in fact, Sanji has to wash them twice because he takes Nami's role.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Because Nami's probably like, can you do it?
Yeah.
Sanji, and then he will.
And Sanji's like, of course.
I'm trying to remember where he landed on the how many times a week he takes a bath. Which I'm trying
I
to
would
find.
guess that he's on the dirtier end.
Yeah.
But
He
yeah,
seems like he would be for many
Yeah,
reasons.
because that's the funniest.
It is
'Cause
the funniest.
He's the gentleman. I'm like, you don't bathe.
Why isn't that one of the facts that's on the side on One Piece Wiki?
Should be.
How many times they bathe?
How many times does Jinbei bathe? I imagine he's fairly clean.
No,
For
he's
sure.
a fish.
That
He
dude
probably
loves the water.
stinks.
Yeah.
But yeah, he smells like the
Yeah,
sea.
He's got fish breath.
He's the first
This
son
is-
of the sea.
That's true. Like seaweed. Ugh.
Wasn't that
Okay, so next up,
I guess we're not
grammar
answering.
chapter as always says, ahoy, OPP, banger chapter as always. Doubly so for folks like me who love Brooke and Robin. I love that we finally got our Gunko Brooke payoff, but her fangirling was in a messed up way. Heart emoticon. I can't wait to see Robin prevent a second burning of O'Hara. And how hilarious is it that Gabon's missing the forest for the trees and is just proud of Colin? So their question is, do you think any of the OPP crew could defeat Mom? Or is she truly just that powerful?
Oh,
The
absolutely
OPP
not.
crew? You mean us?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we're losing. Absolutely.
Yeah. At least us
I
here.
often forget to take the trash out to the curb, so I
Me
know
too.
I'm sticking on that,
Yeah.
but that's because that is a crime
Yeah,
that I commit.
I'm
on a
just out
weekly
drinking my
basis.
buddies. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm just constantly out drinking with my buddies. Doesn't that sound like me?
eating the honey cakes. Yeah.
Yeah, I love those. Well, that I would do.
Mom is unbeatable. If you haven't learned that lesson now, you should know. You should learn it.
Yeah, and that's at least the image they want to get across too.
Yeah, maybe Jill can give Mama.
I think Jill could.
They're rivals. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anyone else who could. Josh? I feel like Josh could kick Mom's ass with like guilting, because we've determined he's the
yeah.
Jewish mother somehow,
A withering,
even though he's none
remark.
of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's the downside. You team up with Mom against us.
Yeah, Josh
Oh,
definitely
turn
would.
That is
yeah.
absolutely true.
Yeah,
lose.
he's never gonna listen to this, right?
Does Team Dark turn against the crew, the OPP crew, and join the moms?
Yep.
Yes. By the way,
okay,
Brooke
so,
yeah.
bathes once a week, which is more than I thought. But that is the worst. That's in that worst tier.
Yep.
Yeah, Team Dark does love Mother, so yeah, we're
Do
doomed.
they? I thought they loved Zaddies.
Why not both? So Plaid the Impaler, aka Slay, smiley emoticon, says, hello, my fellow mothers. Man, those poor kids. I hope they can rescue them from the evil clutches of the Holy Knights. I especially hope they get bent. Womp womp. I can't for the
Good.
I can't I can't wait for the rescue where they get bent. Them getting bent will be so satisfying to see. Oh, I've just been informed that getting bent means something. I'm so sorry. Uh, getting this back on track. I hope y'all don't mind or don't need to apologize to your wives and or mothers for stuff. I'm sure you're perfect angels. And their question is, what moms from other media would you like to see as Sleeptids? Cooking Mama, Mom from Futurama, Mrs. C, Mrs. Beaver. Have a great week.
Ooh, Mom from Futurama is a really good one.
I love her.
That's a brutal
She
one.
is a top tier villain generally.
Oh,
she's excellent.
as a Sleeptid, she'd be absolutely terrifying.
No, she should just be like the end boss of One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's.
I mean, I'm still counting on Emu being a woman, so sure.
Yeah, me
Emu's
too.
mom.
And it's just Mom
It's
from
just Mom,
Futurama.
yeah.
To be fair, is she combines the fears of mom and CEO, evil and terrifying. Yep. It's very good.
That's a good question. Like other fictional mothers. I mean,
I remember. I think I brought this up on an older episode, but there's a Godzilla movie where there's a cartoonist who's designing kaiju, and he creates Mamagon, a
that's what we
kaiju
could have called this.
Represents like the fear of all children, their mothers.
I think that would actually be a really good series potentially, and it could explore some interesting topics. Mamagon.
Only because we were just talking about Game of Thrones being a reference for a mag. Cersei Lannister is kind of terrifying as a mother.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like prominent moms in media, and my brain just isn't working generally. So that's.
I mean, just there's a lot of them, but they're like
a lot of them are dead.
Normally known. That too, and they're also not just known for being mothers.
That's
the mom from Throw Mama from a Train.
Mm-hmm. Or don't tell mom the
babysitter said, yeah.
Okay. Don't tell. No, don't
stop or my mom will shoot.
Which one? No.
There you go. Stop or my mom will shoot. Yeah. Sleeptiid.
I got one.
Okay.
I got one.
So,
especially for that era, it's the mom from Goonies. Mama.
Fratelli.
It's the same.
Fratelli, yes, that's Big Mom.
Yeah, that's the same actor as the Throw Mama from a Train.
Right.
That's actually
Oda.
Nice.
Oda is around. He's a little older than Bryan.
He's a little older than me. Yeah, like 5 years.
But probably that media probably seeped into his subconscious.
Yeah.
100%.
The only
he's
thing
always
we serve here is tongue.
Yeah. He's been traumatized by the same media. Me and Steven,
yeah. Absolutely, 100%.
Our next question is from Vegapunk's hairstylist. What an honor. Ahoy, OPP. You know what the scariest Sleeptiid is? My mom said in Muscle Man's voice. Don't know who that is. Can't do that voice. Sorry.
Joey, matter-of-factly, nope.
Great chapter. Super excited to see Robin unleash all those. Oh, wait. Is that a regular show guy? I don't know.
Might be.
I could maybe.
I can't. It's not a very good SEO name. Like I don't know how to look that up.
Yeah,
they're super excited to see Robin unleash all these years of pent up anger on the dude. My question is, how do you think the rest of the crew will join in? Do you think that Luffy and or Loki will sense the trouble, causing the gang to actually set Loki free, to help with talking or taking out the Holy Knights? Maybe they decide to just set him free and go and enjoy the feast going on back in town. Either way, super excited at the thought of Loki being a good guy and fighting hand in hand with Luffy to take down these super assholes. Also, those thorns, the thorn snake was pretty sweet, not gonna lie. And finally, Gabon is definitely a skilled hockey user. Say he went to fight Gunko. If he infused enough hockey into his axes, could he negate the arrow effects and not have his weapons direction change?
Possibly,
just
yes.
falling back to Law, undoing Doc Q by infusing his hockey.
Yep, definitely. It's probably the only way around
it does
that.
seem like I keep kind of wondering about this, like the immortality dissolving thing. If there's like a level of hockey
Forgot to
or
mention
something
that.
that's above
Yeah.
hockey that can like negate that or something like that. It does seem like maybe we're moving into like a new power
Yeah.
direction. with
You
some
know
of
what
that
it
stuff.
could, you know what it could also be? Because I recently, maybe about like 6 months ago, reread all of Full Metal Alchemist again. It could be like the homunculus immortality, where it has a limit. Like
Yeah,
you can overtax it, and then they can't regenerate anymore.
you only got
Mm.
so
I
much
love
of your
FMA,
little
and I'm happy
red.
you brought it up
Yeah.
just for that. I don't know if I still subscribe to it, but the idea, I think I brought it up last week, so it would be very short lived if I didn't. The idea that they're kind of like astral projections of themselves. They're not like fully
Mhm.
there.
It's not
Totally.
actually them.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
Avatar.
Especially
I
with-
guess. Yeah.
Especially what happened to Saint Saturn. I'm totally on board
Right.
with that. Like they're
Yeah.
constructs.
And when they
I-
all went back,
Yeah, except for Saturn
him,
was there,
Saturn was
and died.
there, yeah, and he did die, yeah. So,
but he also regenerated. So
Yeah, but like he was killed from a distance, as in like you're
Right.
like, nope, you don't get to be here anymore, and just like you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there might be a cost
but
to
that
the
was
immortality.
that was his actual body. It wasn't. So with Saturn, it's confusing, but because the circle, which I forget the name of,
Yeah, they just
they
named
come
it.
up with a
Abyss,
name?
the Abyss.
the
The
Abyss,
Abyss, yeah,
which is a great name
Mhm.
for anything. Abyss is
like a
great.
great band name.
Yeah. Oh, Maw also would be good. Maw. Anyway, just being an idiot now. The Abyss is what would, in my theory here, is what projects the user in. So with Saturn,
it
he
might
was
be the
nearby.
contract. Yeah.
Saturn was just like right offshore, as you may recall. So when he gets sucked out of there, which is what happened with the hockey that Emmett
Unleashed. Yeah.
unleashed.
Yeah.
My boy
Well, also
Emmett.
our boy Emmett. I also remember when what's the one the Flying of Mars got sent away in Egghead.
Right,
When even before the Emmett's hockey
Right.
sent the rest of them back, Saturn was already back at Mary Joa.
You mean Mars? Yeah.
Mars, sorry, yeah, Mars is already back at Mary Joa. So you might be right. It might be like a focal distance thing from when the summoning thing is. They can't go beyond that without getting sent
Yeah,
back.
maybe. I think it. Like, look, immortality that you just have to pulverize without any limits doesn't really feel like Oda. Oda usually, even when we haven't really had a ton of quote unquote magic. I know Greg has talked a lot about this on the SGS too, but Oda lives within his own like rule set. Like, I don't see it being something like or even like FMA had, as I mean, it was.
They have rules, yeah.
Yeah, and there was reasoning behind how that happened, and there's no way that these are just like immortal globular cells like Cell from DBZ that we were talking about, or
Right.
Boo or whatever, where it's just like, how is this happening? Although I guess Cell had some explanation. So yeah, that's my theory. Sorry for the long answer. Joey.
Okay, so then Straw Hat Pirate 9 is our next question asker, who says, Brook, my boy. Brook showing his loyalty to Luffy always brings me so much joy. My hatred for Gunko and the rest of the Holy Knights grows. Just want to say, the way Gunko is a fan, it just kind of makes me think of the conservative One Piece quote-unquote fans out
Hey, Brian, there you are.
We did it, yeah. We did it already.
Did it.
They are missing the whole goddamn point. But anyway, loved the chapter. That cliffhanger with Gabon and Robin is so excited. They're so excited for that. Please, Oda, have Robin do some good damage. I want my girl to kick ass. She deserves to make them hurt. 3 exclamation points.
I think there's
Yeah.
two things.
Amen.
There's two things from that. I like Oda definitely. I forgot we didn't really go into that line too much. The toxicity of fans, or not even toxicity. The fans who are fans of you, even though they represent everything that.
It's been well documented that a lot of right wingers just don't understand media.
True, but I think also generally there's always people who literally preach the opposite of the material they're reading.
Yeah, like Stephen Miller, for example. avid Star Trek fan. I'm like, how can you be a
He
little
is?
fucking fast? Yeah,
That's bizarre.
I know.
That's truly bizarre. 'Cause, I mean,
It
Star Trek
pisses
is
me off.
like the original of the like. I don't know if leftist is the word, but of the
It's
shows.
close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and like Norman
It's
Lear back
progressive.
in the day was like
Progressive
what we
shows,
we had. Yeah,
And they were open about it. Like that was
Yeah.
the thing that they kind of
But
trailblazed. Yeah.
I think he treats Star Trek the way the Dark Mirror episode treated that one Star Trek. Like little offshoot if you haven't watched Black Mirror. Sorry, not Dark Mirror. Black Mirror had a like kind of send off to a Star Trek episode where it's like Captain Kirk kind of styles like I'm the guy running the ship and like nobody tells me what to do. Mentality of what a lot of people think Star Trek's about.
Yeah, they're
I
getting
think
the
he
wrong
might
idea. It's like, ooh, it's a
Exactly.
white guy running it. That's great. I also like
Right.
Stephen Miller also agrees with that. I'm gonna stop
Yeah,
saying that sentence in the first person.
Don't. I just recently rewatched all the original Star Treks and like the animated series, so I'm like very on to Star Trek right now. Man, that show is revolutionary.
It's so good. I haven't seen
Yeah.
the original in a while. We've talked about it a lot, but I've rewatched TNG and DS9 and even Voyager a lot. DS9 a lot. It's a great series, even if you don't
Yeah.
watch Star Trek. That is,
And just like people who don't understand the messages that One Piece is putting down as far as like anti-authoritarian, against like oppression, freedom to choose who you want to be or how you want to be, found family, all that stuff.
Yeah, like I know Oda shies away from the obviously political, but also it's just there. Like everything is. Brian, I know we've done a lot of this in Fight Together. Which please check out that series. It's still available anywhere you get your podcast. But I mean, like nothing, everything that is said will always has to have some political,
even not being
reaction.
political is political.
Yeah.
All art is political.
All everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just about
It's
everything is.
funny
Except
that
for
this
jokes.
is all happening while Who's Who is in the cover story.
Yes. Yeah.
currently, too.
Yeah. I mean, Oda doesn't shy away from that, even if he may do that, in person. I don't know. Actually doesn't do anything in person because he's a hermit. Or not hermit.
Recluse.
I don't even think he is a recluse. He just doesn't want to show his face anywhere. I mean, he still parties with like giant giraffes and stuff. And his Jaws toilet or whatever it was. Yeah, anyway, Joey.
Okay, so next up is Ronia vs. Eye Patch. That's a good one. OPP, I want to be Gunko's slave and write gay little love songs for her. What's up with Summers making vine snakes? Hard pivot.
It's not really that hard a pivot.
They've even got little faces on them, and it seems like he's met Saul before. So did the Holy Knights used to work with the Marines or something? Is Bent short for Benjamin? So much going on. Yeah, Benjamin Button, the story.
Benjamin.
I think it's just that the Holy Knights are aware of the Marines because they're kind of like essentially the upper level of what the Marines are. I mean,
well, we also
there's
know
a division in.
You go ahead.
No, I just think that they're just kind of aware of what's going on with the Marines and stuff, so they just know who they are.
I agree with that because like if Saul understood what a Holy Knight was at the very least, that they'd be immortal. But we do have a former Marine who does work for the world government, and it's Kong. I'm thinking like he might be the guy.
I always forget
offshooting.
about Kong.
Everyone forgets about Kong. He might be the one in charge of like the CP organization. Maybe
You know
the
who
Holy
didn't forget
Knight.
about Kong? The live action in the credits every week or every episode, because it was on that map. What was it, commissioned by Kong or something?
Oh,
It's a very odd Easter egg. Like I get it, but no one remembers Kong except for theorizers who like which
No, I
we
just
both
like-
are. But
I just like big fucking gnarly dudes. I'm like, I can't wait to see what
is
he's
that.
capable of. Yeah.
yeah, I don't. Well, I would have been wrong about the five elders. I would have said I don't think we're ever going to see them fight. But
I've been waiting for that for like since they showed up. Like they're creepy old men. They got to do something.
it's the Simpsons thing. They're going to do something.
No, they've just been sitting there the whole time.
They got to do something cool. Okay, here, Joey, go ahead.
Okay, next up is Sailor Karna, who says, "Hey OPP, Demon Child Robin is in the building. I predict that she will free the Straw Hats, and her and Nami will work together to bring down Gunko, while Gaban and Jinbei will tackle Summers, and Usopp, Chopper, and Brook will free the kids. The real problem is Yarul. Do we believe he'll give up the country for the sake of his grandchild's grandchild?"
Again,
that's right. He didn't give an answer.
He's half a millennia old with a sword through his skull. Like, I'll leave it there. That's all I got to say on that.
But we don't fully understood his view about like Elbaf's warrior status.
That's true. Yeah, he might have enough juice still to be like, no, we'll never surrender, blah blah blah.
Yeah, or say like, yeah, let's burn down the schools because we should be warriors anyway. I doubt he'd be like consigning them to slavery, so I doubt he'll turn heel like that. I'm not foreseeing that. I'm just saying. But
This
also,
whole thing, it would be cool if he makes like a stand. I've been just kind of, I see him as kind of like through this whole back half of the chapter is just sort of like sputtering and not even like fully aware of what's going on and being like, and it almost seems like the confrontation will happen before he even has to make a choice. But
yeah, the fact that all of this is happening over the phone, I feel like this for Yarl is like the phone scam thing where like someone's someone
Grandma,
is lying about
I need help. Send me $4,000. Yeah.
Oh my god, it is.
What?
Oh my god, that's what it is.
That's a great point.
I'm gonna need 16 Bitcoin or else I'll never make it.
Yeah, you got Grandma burn down all the libraries and schools, or else you'll never get me out of the hospital.
Or else Yilva will never come back. That's my grandchild's granddaughter.
Grandpa, don't burn down all the libraries. They said I had to. Who? The person on the phone. They said they were from the government.
Side note, you guys watch Thelma? Highly recommend it. It's a great little film.
I haven't.
It's a great movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, the one with the old lady.
Yep.
Oh, I want to see that so bad.
It's good. Yeah. Watch it.
Any more, Joey?
All right. We've got two more.
Okay.
So Hopkins Hat 15 says, "Hey OPP, how it be? If it were up to you, who would fight and defeat who in this arc?" So now we're talking matchups.
The moms defeat everyone.
Been dancing around this a little bit, but like specifically, who do you see taking on who?
What did you say, Zach?
Sorry, the moms take out everyone is what I said.
Yeah. This one's tough because I still don't think we've seen all the opponents yet. I think there's still either Shamrock comes back or something else happens because Killingham might be our secret threat. He might be the one might be the big bad this arc. He has the strongest power so far.
Like I feel like maybe I can't think of a single example of this, but usually I feel like you get someone with a crazy devil fruit power, and then you get someone with a strong like in battle devil fruit power, and those are usually different.
Sure.
Like Sugar and Doflamingo, I think, are probably the clearest example. Like Sugar had that OP, no pun intended, power, and Doflamingo had a power that he never really utilized in the right way. But
if I'm gonna have a preferred matchup at this arc so far, I want Gunko versus Luffy. Luffy's never had a female opponent who's like more of a like petite female opponent 1-on-1 as a major antagonist of any arc. So let's do that before we're done.
I don't think we're gonna get 1v1s. I just don't. I don't think we're at that point in the series anymore. Personally,
until the end, I would say.
Yeah, until the end. That's fair. Or until maybe once more, but I don't think here. This doesn't feel like it.
That's fair.
I mean, the thing is, these.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to imagine Luffy and Loki taking on any of these guys. Like, it just doesn't feel like motivated enough or something.
That's what I was saying. Like, because usually Oda's really good about establishing the stakes where I'm like, how are they going to beat this opponent? Most of these opponents, outside of maybe Killingham, I'm like, I could see how this fight's going to go down. Like, Robin and Gunko is going to be fun. Like, Robin has an ability where either Gunko Sumner or maybe even killing him. But I can say that's going to be a fun fight for Robin.
Yeah, I think
You don't think Robin's going to take on Summers?
She
I
could.
thought. I
I
thought.
mean, he's right there.
Yeah, she's literally
Yeah.
right there, and he just took down.
I'm
Saul.
gonna go over there and
Yeah,
fight
exactly.
and fight Gunko for no reason. Sorry, I have to take care of her first. Then I'll get you.
You know what? Also, this arc mirrors another arc in an obvious way, and a not so obvious way. Is Little Garden. Little Garden is another arc where a tinier
Yeah,
opponent
you're
had to
right.
take out dragons through side means, not direct means.
Yeah. The thing is, it's Celestial Dragons basically talking here. So everyone has a good motivation to kick their asses.
Right.
Like there is nothing more detestable than a Celestial Dragon in One Piece, just generally. I think that's a fair thing to say. So everyone has a good motivation to kick their ass as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it's going to just be a clean this is going to happen with this, but I definitely think that this is a good opportunity. Brian might be right that we haven't seen everyone yet, but the other Straw Hats have a really good opportunity to step up and do some cool shit here, and I hope that does happen. Brooke and Robin obviously are at the forefront, but Usopp, this is like an arc where he really needs some good stuff.
Yep.
And Jinbei's
It's really
scheming.
cool that we've we've essentially removed the monster trio from the equation.
I feel that
Yeah.
feels like
Yeah,
it's
they'll
on
come back.
purpose. Yeah.
Oh,
it-
yeah.
100%.
I mean, for lots of reasons, but it gives a lot of really good opportunities for the rest.
The
rest,
monster tree and the rest, the monster tree and the new giant pirates like Harajun and his crew, which I'd say they're more important than even like Dorgy and Brogy at this point because they're the next generation that follows Luffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, SMP with the comment that we all want to return to. Hey, OPP, I can't unsee something about that map Oda drew after Dan pointed it out. Please help me.
Can't help you.
Sanada.
Think on sexy thoughts. Okay, that's it for Dispiece. Anything on Reddit, Steven?
Yes, we do have some comments, just a few over on the subreddit Archipelago at reddit.com/r/One Piece podcast. Our first one from Amiibo Hunter 000 says, "Hey OPP, I really hope Oda gives us a legendary Robin moment here. Say what you will about the action scenes lately, but Oda is knocking the emotional conveyance out of the park. Giant's reaction to the moms, Summer's drawl expression over kidnapping and torture, and Robin and Mr. Ya's determination is felt so clearly. My question, have you done arc end predictions for Elbaf? If not, I want in. My vote is 1,200. I'm ready to host the show, Zach. I'm going to be king of the yaoi. I mean the podcast."
Okay.
Nice. Did we take numbers? I thought we did.
You didn't do it for Egghead, did you?
Oh yeah, maybe I'm thinking of Egghead just because
No,
Egghead
we
was so
did
short.
we did do Elbaf. Actually,
We did do Elbaf.
This is a good
Okay.
time to do.
Do you have
Sorry, I
the-
was zoning out and reading the.
Yeah, I feel
the
like
Blue
I've
Sky
kind
program.
of like skirted it away from having to do this.
No,
for the
no,
past
let's
couple
do it.
of
Let's do.
arcs.
Well, you won one of them, right?
Yeah,
we
a
did
long
your
a long
yeah.
time ago. Yeah.
I mean, everything's a long time ago. We're all old.
What's the
now.
rule again? Like closest without going over?
Yeah, it's oh, here it is. Okay. So Steven already did yours. Do we have one from Joey? No.
Okay.
And we definitely don't have one from Brian, so we'll do
Yeah,
those.
don't say what the numbers are or anything to remind us.
No, I'm
That would be
about to.
terrible.
I was about to.
Okay.
All
right,
jeez.
fine.
I'll go in reverse chronological here. So like from the furthest away to today. Cohen said 1351. I said I'm sorry, Chica said 1285. I said 1227. I don't want to win. Jill said 1205. Mel said 1199. Steven said 1195. Steve said 1192. They're getting a little closer here. Alex said 1184. Ed said 1175. And Jammer said 1177. So forgot that one. None under 1175, which is interesting because we're at 11. What are we at? 1147.
1147,
Yeah, so
yeah.
we still have a ways to all of those. Brian, you want to go first?
Yeah. And it's funny because like before maybe like the last 4 chapters, I would have had a totally different opinion. I thought this was going to be a longer one, but now I'm going to reassess that, and I think I'll do 12.
That's still long. If you're going to do 12 anything, it's still 53 more
I
chapters.
I don't think it's going to be as short as Egghead, but I think it's going to be a little longer because similar to like Wano, this is one Oda's been heading on his little checklist.
How many chapters has it been so far? When did this start?
It's
Well, I
not.
could check right
It's
now.
not 30 yet.
It's 11:27 is around where it started, right? Or no, 11:25.
It's close to 30, but it ain't 30 yet.
Yeah, I think we're at like 25 chapters so far, so
Yeah.
that would be triple the length as what we've had so far.
Right.
Oh, no,
So
yeah,
I'm
a total 50 more chapters. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm thinking like 12:32.
Joey.
So this is 11:40 something.
47, and we
Almost 11:50. Yeah. Let's say 11:70.
Okay, that one has not been chosen. I think you have the lowest one now, and Brian does not have the highest one. Unless you want to guess something in the 1300s.
Oh no, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous too. I say, and then in 2054 we're still in Elbaf.
You know what? Okay, I'll reassess. I'll do.
No, I'm not
I'll
trying
do 12. I'll do 12:45. Let's do.
I'm
it.
not trying to pressure you one way or the other. All right, fine. I'll change yours, Brian.
Thank
But
you.
only Brian gets that luxury. Okay. What's the next question?
Let's see. Our other question on Reddit is from Old Wolf 30, who says, "Hey OPP, given Gunko's powers are tied somewhat to the concept of fate, do you think her pained reaction after attacking Brooke is due to her going against the fate ordained for her?"
Oh, is that what the arrow? Does the arrow go in a different direction? I didn't even look at that. That's a good
I don't-
question.
I don't think that's what they were insinuating. I think he was just saying is the fact that she is pained because she is going against. I don't know. I think that may be reading too far into the fate, because she said like, oh yeah, the kid's fate is ordained because they're just following I think that's just a statement on, yeah, when the arrow is pointing, you cannot resist it, sort of thing.
I mean,
I do like that analogy of it.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, but yeah.
I mean, I think we said this. It's just weird if she didn't want to do it. Why does she continue beating him up after?
It's because it's her mission and it's what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
But
It's
like
like
the grabbing the heart and then continuing to do the thing.
Yeah,
seems
it's
odd.
like it's the back and forth. She is in a state of I don't know what she's grappling between two things, which is that she likes Soul King's music, but she also is a celestial dragon. She also has to to show that she is superior to him and is fulfilling her mission and is, being a badass and doing all of these different things. And they're kind of in conflict within her at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I hope this doesn't turn into a, God, he's done this several times with Sanji's, either a pudding or a, Violet, kind of, even though she was a secret
Tsundere?
agent.
That she's
not-
like playing like a double agent thing.
Yeah, because he's done that enough with like
That was our guess.
pretty ladies.
Before this
Right.
chapter, that I was like, I could
I
see
had
that
another friend
happening.
who guessed that too, and I'm like, I don't buy it. I think she's cold to the core, and I think
This
that's better.
proves your point, Brian. Yeah. I hope you're right, because once you say this kind of shit, I don't think you should be able to get out of that.
Yeah, like just let her be a bad guy. Just let them be villains. It's fine.
Let them be bad.
Be bad.
He's just a bad little guy.
Yeah, just a little bad little girl.
Bad
She's
little-
a little baddie.
she's a little awful racist who needs to die.
Yeah,
let her be that.
They just exist out there. So you know what? Clear antagonists. It's good.
Yeah. Anything else, Stephen?
That was it for Reddit.
Okay, we have Blue Sky this week. So we're gonna head to Blue Sky Pia. Our first question comes from Captain Piledriver, who says, the theory that Brooke is the last survivor of God Valley as an ex-soldier / escort would explain why he knew about the Holy Knights, unlike Jinbei. That's a pretty
interesting.
I think
That
I've heard
is
that
solid.
theory.
He was a knight
Yes.
previously, right?
From
So
a kingdom
I
in the
just assumed
West.
it was because of his position he had heard about the Holy Knights, but
He might have been a knight. He's a former Kingsguard or knight, I think was the phrasing.
yeah, something like
He's
I
that.
want a
But-
full Brooke flashback already.
I'm still waiting for it.
I think we will get it, and
I hope
since
so.
we've gotten the Sanji stuff, and
I think I've expressed my theory about Brooke is that he might be connected to Lafayette. Or Lafayette has a
Lafitte,
connection to
Lafitte.
Brooke.
Lafitte.
oh, Lafitte.
Lafitte, sorry.
I'm like
Sorry.
they named after
pronounce
someone
it.
after Lafayette.
Lafayette, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, Lafitte on Blackbeard's crew because he was a West Blue sheriff
Right.
who took the piracy, and he kind of followed Brooke's example, who was a West Blue knight who took the piracy. Both
and
musical
also-
theme too.
What we did see of Brooke's past in the flashback is vague enough that you could really do a lot with it. Like, we don't really know what Yorkie's crew was like and
Yeah.
how prominent they were and what they were
And
really up to and all
Brooke
that.
knew about a rookie named Roger, and Roger showed
Right.
up at God Valley. The math.
But wasn't he dead during God's Valley? I think he was already like on the boat during that.
He was dead then. Yeah, he was already dead.
Yeah, so
It's-
he couldn't
he's
have been
50
on God
years.
Valley, right?
But he could have been from God's Valley. Is that I think what the
Is that what
theory
the question
suggests?
is? The last survivor? No, I
The
don't think.
survivor of the incident.
Oh no, then
That's the
definitely
idea.
not. He was already dead.
Maybe he was on Yellow of Dog though, which is what happens when you go the other way into God
Yeah.
Valley.
Yeah, but he was from a kingdom in the West Blue, so maybe it was God Valley, maybe it was different.
I think he certainly knows. Well, the thing is, it's very interesting, and I think I've talked about this. I'll make it short. That we know a lot about recent history in One Piece, and a lot of the stuff that we see in the series is distant or recent history. But
Mhm.
like anything past like 30 years to like, or maybe 30 to 60 years to like 800 years, Noland aside, we don't really know. That's our Void Century, I think, as reader, or Void Millennia, as readers.
Totally. Yeah.
Because I always, Roger feels like so long ago, but it isn't. It's like the recent history, seeing black and white. It wasn't. Your
Yeah.
parents were
I do
maybe alive.
I do this all the time because like
Yeah.
20 years between like Roger being executed and Luffy now is like basically when I was in college.
It
To
was
me,
in
that doesn't seem like ancient history.
2005. It's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago in all
Yeah.
things, or 2003. I guess.
But
with
sometimes the
concept.
world changes a lot in 20 years.
And unfortunately does. Next question. I could talk about that for a while, but I will not. Ruben AS says, I feel the regeneration takes a toll on the user if they don't have enough stamina. And for me, that's the reason Gunko was in pain, as she's not as durable as the elders. It's a possibility too. I still like my theory.
yeah,
because I said it.
Yeah, well, and also the fact that it happens in between her kicking Brooke and then
Yeah.
kicking him some more. That to me just says like those things are linked.
Yeah, 100%.
Ice Fisher Tenacity says, I'm curious about the translation/interpretation of two names. I like Sleep Tids, but do you think that Dreamins was like demons for dreams was ever considered? As for Karen, I also saw Karen. Oh, I also saw Colleen in another translation.
Colleen.
For Killingham?
No, for the
this
girl,
is
the
for the girl,
little
yeah.
girl with the bangs.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I like that it was near Colin. I'm curious if there's a specific reason why or why you went with what you went with.
Okay, so for Karen, I looked on the list of Norse names, and I just looked for the consonant. I went to C, and I didn't really see a lot of C or nothing that matched with that, so I went to K, and there, Karin, Karin is it does have a backing in one of the Northern European languages. So that was the reason for that. As far as the sleep tids go, what would you say that his suggestion was?
Dreamins.
Dreamins, okay.
Like demon dreaming.
But I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of the 4Kids rap is what.
Yeah.
Oh God damn it.
Dreamins.
The problem with that, or that's clever, for sure. There's definitely some value to that. The first thing that I would point out though is that the original term in Japanese is based off of Yuma, which is UMA, which is the Japanese word for cryptids, which is specifically why I went with sleeptids, because it's referencing a very modern term that is in a funny way that feels a little maybe anachronistic to what the setting of One Piece, but specifically that it was based off of like mysterious sort of monster animals, like Bigfoot, like the chupacabra, stuff like that. And that's what the etymology that Oda was coming from in the first place. And so I really thought that was a funnier place to start from. I think it's a more clever and funny place to start from than just demons or sleep demons or something like that. So that would be why, if I had come up with that name as well, I still would have gone with sleeptids, because it matches with the original wordplay more closely.
That's very interesting. And also the 4Kids rap. Another Steven question. This one's from Sam Fisher, who says, what is the weekly timeline? And we've definitely answered this before, but at least in part. What is the weekly timeline of a typical chapter translation? When do you receive it? How long do you have to translate it and submit it back? Is it just the script or a full chapter with the images? We did talk about this maybe a few years ago now.
That's an interesting question, though, that like the idea that it would be just like because I know that's what like some anime people, they just get the script because of course they have a script that's
simulcasts, I think. Yeah.
Right, that the voice actors have to use to record their lines. But they don't do that with manga, because the text, I mean, the text is produced at the same time that the images are produced, so there would be no point to just sending a text version. And I would hate that too, because a lot of times you do need the images to get the full context. But yeah, basically it's roughly a week. And so when you consider each of the different steps, I mean, a week meaning that it's a week before the release, give or take a day or two in either direction. You have the translator has to translate it. The letterer, the editor has to edit it, and the letterer has to letter it. And depending on the style of the editor, sometimes those will be flipped. Like some of them prefer to just look at the text first to tidy it up or to make any adjustments that they want, or they might let the letterer do the work and then they just go into InDesign or whatever and just adjust the text themselves once they're looking at it all in the manga. And then there's there's proofreading, and each of these parts, especially with the translator and the letterer, because those are both going to be contractors. They want to give us a certain window of time because people have lives. Sometimes they're doing stuff. It's not like we're just clocking in at the office and we're trapped there for X number of hours. So there has to be a certain amount of time for both of those stages, and then the editing and the proofreading, and eventually they have to be turned. The finalized files have to be turned over back to Shueisha as well, because they're going to put it up on Manga Plus. This is in the case of Viz. I don't know how the other international languages do it, but I imagine it's pretty similar. And then so Shueisha has to have time to get it and to load it up in their system and make sure everything is good to go. And so there is a cutoff at some point. I would imagine that it's probably like before Friday or something like that like we have to send the files in, so you can't change anything if you spot something at the last moment, because you've already had to send the files over. But generally that's kind of the the order of events. Yeah, it's the full chapter. I get to see it. It's all there. No one else has seen it, so I can't really bounce any ideas off of anyone else. But
I got a kind of question tangential to that, and it kind of also buttress what the previous question was about, like the sleep dids. Is that, does anyone like proofread or check your guys' work at Shueisha?
At Shueisha, no. They're just not going to have, like, they don't have time.
They don't have
to,
time
to
or
do stuff
resources.
like that. Yeah, they pretty much just have to, as you might imagine, like they just have to kind of trust that each language source, that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I do think that in the longer term, like in the medium term, at least for us, at Viz, I think we probably get more scrutiny because they do like to defer to us for like we'll get questions later on about like, oh, here, can you confirm this spelling or that spelling, or this, we found this discrepancy or that discrepancy. And it's usually because I think they want their own like sort of master list of stuff to, for example, to send to Crunchyroll to do the anime subs and to send to licensors for merchandise and stuff like that. We do, I think we get more weight placed on our choices than probably most of the other languages, just because, it's the English language version, and that's going to be kind of the de facto, international standard.
Right, for the franchise and for broader marketing purposes. Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
And a lot of the time, I doubt Oda has either the opinion or the knowledge of English.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that is a pitfall too, of like when people, you might think like, well, why doesn't the original language like staff, confirm that this is okay? Well, if they knew exactly how to do this stuff, they would do it themselves.
They
could, right. They could make their own version, but they don't. They have to rely on, the
Oda would just
other
write it in
languages.
English.
Because there's a character in Fight Girl who got a different translation than what we associate. I forget what it was, but we were like, they called her that.
Oh, interesting.
Well, like a lot
I think
of
I think it was a French translation too.
I was going to say a lot of the One Piece translations around the world have varying quality because of, I mean, there's not someone who speaks every language at Shueisha who's like, this is what you should be saying.
Yeah. And a lot of them have their own, like in German, he's Ruffy with an R and stuff like that, because that's just kind of like that they went with that, and Shueisha is going to be like,
stick
all right.
with it.
Yeah.
And you guys.
And I also know, and I think this is this case with us in Fight Girl, but like there's also cultural things that like you're not supposed to say or do.
Right.
Like for example, Riot Games can't be called Riot in China because Riot's like an illegal word, so they're called the Fist Company.
Yeah, interesting.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, not surprising, but interesting.
Yeah. And there's no way you can know all these things ahead of time, with international partners and stuff.
And then you could also have like little things where if saying like Colin is a good example, like the word, if you called him Colin, you'd be thinking something else, which is what Stephen, I know, had to wrestle with. He had to wrestle with the colon. Sorry.
Yes, it's every day.
Yeah, we're all older. Wait, why did I scroll away from? Okay, so next question. I'll do a few more since it's getting late.
Mm-hmm.
Clockwork Cloak. Also, said absolute crazy theory. I do agree with that part. Gunko is Brooke's granddaughter. No, I'm gonna veto that. Personally vetoing it.
Understand how that worked.
No, I don't want to understand how that works.
I did have the like fleeting thought go through my head, like, okay, we know that was previously a royal guard or a knight. What if he was a holy knight? But like,
it could be, but that would suck.
They got really shitty.
Yeah. I don't think so. Also, it was in the West Blue, so like.
Yeah.
Carlos has our last one here. I know other people asked, but running out of time. And I do like this one. Hello, OPP. I am sure this will come up in discussion. But who is your favorite of the giant kids? They love Ronya, right? The optimism and the fact that her dad also has a gap between his teeth. Which it is funny that it's not because she's a kid that she has that. It's because that is just
it's genetic.
Family.
Yeah,
Genetic. Sometimes be that way though.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I know my favorite. It's Bjorn.
I mean, Ilva is the one close
Brian
to my
said
heart.
he likes Bjorn.
Bjorn, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I do kind of like Bent. I just think he's really funny, like as the.
I feel so sorry for Ben. I'm like, you poor child, you need a hug.
Yeah, I think Ronia might be my favorite too, but I like Mag as well. I love big fish characters. So.
Yeah, Mag's my favorite design.
Mag's great. My favorite. I like Scaldy's design in that he's trying to look like a badass, but he isn't. He looks like Kid as a kid, probably.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But it's fun. They're very good designs. Like Karen,
all the kids are fantastic.
Colleen, I think, is what we're calling. What a great Norse name.
You know what they are? They're the peanuts.
They are kind of, yeah.
We can
Charles
also draw them
Rowling,
as
right?
that in a future week. Ilva just is breaking my heart. I'm sorry. Maybe that's the dad in me, but that's she's getting top marks for me. But the Queen Hilling thing you mentioned, I think Brian mentioned, with Karen.
Yeah, that was Joey.
Yeah,
That was excellent.
Karen.
Yeah.
Karen. I'm giving her the name Karen. That's not good. Okay, that'll do it for Piece Together. Let's round off the show right after this.
Okay.
This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 866. Thank you all so much for coming on the show. This was a fun one. There is no chapter next week. Do we know what we're doing, Steven?
I don't know what we're doing because
Okay.
while we were recording on one of my, customary stretches of silence, I was texting with Greg, and he is going to be out of town during the time we would record. So I don't know.
Delaney's editing this, so she is perfectly capable of cutting this out if she wants. But I think they're going to do another, I think they called it their boyfriend bracket. I think we might have one of those, which is basically like a giant version of Yaoi Thunderdome. So
Awesome.
that may be happening next week.
It's a potential option.
Yeah, I know Delaney was like getting excited about doing that, I think. So again, she could cut this out.
It's called Return to Yaoi Thunderdome.
There you go.
Return to the that's
Eventually it will be beyond Yaoi.
Beyond the
Thunderdome.
Yaoi Thunderdome.
Yeah.
What is beyond the Yuri Thunderdome? I don't know. Anyway, so big thanks to Ed, who had to take off. Also, thank you, Steven, Joey, and Brian, who I'll let you all plug your stuff in a second. Please subscribe to us on Patreon at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast if you haven't. I've mentioned the reasons. Please do it. It helps pay for the amazing art you see. It helps pay for articles on the website. It helps pay our bills, like the website and the podcast and all that. So, yeah, please do that. And Brian, where could people find you and your work that's not NDA?
That's fair. You can find my work on Cartoon Network. There's Invincible Fight Girl, which is on Cartoon Network Toonami's, I believe, midnight still, but also on HBO Max. Check it out. It's a great show, produced by showrunner Justin Gordon Montgomery, fantastic illustrator and writer. You can also find the Urkel Save Santa movie. It's available on streaming, whatever the hell that means.
What does
they
that
did
mean?
to us? I don't know.
Is it available?
I think it's on. You can buy it on Amazon. That's what I understand.
Okay.
There's no physical copy of it. Because
I hate the current everything.
definitely.
Like, it's like we had a thing that could have been good, and we're just making it the worst.
I can go in on that. Everyone got greedy.
I know you. I know Brian. We won't mention Zaslav here.
Yeah, and then check out OMGS. I directed on this as an Adult Swim show. I'll promote it as like it's the first animated show that with a black female showrunner ever.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
In 2025?
Animated?
That's
Yeah.
How long? Oh God.
I know. So I'm like, for that alone, I tell my God, I can't believe I forgot her name. Oh my God, I forgot the showrunner's name. Adele. I tell I tell Adele that, like, hey, look, you made history regardless. So
True.
just check it out for some like really off the wall shits and giggles. It's very bizarre, but it's very funny sometimes.
I've got a backlog, but I've heard amazing things about Invincible Fight Girl, and I need to.
Fight Girl's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I know
Please
that's
check
like
it out.
your baby.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
And then find me on Dark King Zoro on Blue Sky, where I don't post anything much, but I'll get back on it. The state of the world has made me mad. I have nothing.
Did I tell you?
Content.
I know you. I guess you're a Ganondorf fan because you used all the. I've been doing Zelda for the first time. I'm through. I'm as through Tears of the Kingdom as you could get.
Okay. Oh my! He's so sexy in that.
He is. Who are we talking about? Oh, right, Ganondorf. No, it was a really fun ending. I did enjoy it. I won't say anything.
I haven't played Tears yet, but I'll probably get it.
I was like hesitant. I'm like, I really like Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, is it going to be like that much different? And I think I really enjoy a lot of the things that they did. Some of the things not as much, but a lot of the things, yeah. Joey, sorry about that. Where can people find you?
They can find me at Joey Weiser on Blue Sky and Joey Weiser Comics on Instagram. And please check out my brand new graphic novel, The Littlest Fighter, which is a kaiju-inspired graphic novel that's good for people of all ages. And check out my previous books, Ghost Hog and the Dragon Racer. And as for the next few weeks, I'm kind of off from doing conventions and stuff, but I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in June. So look out for my June schedule when we get closer to that month, because I'm going to be all over the place. But yeah, please check out The Littlest Fighter. That's my biggest thing that I'm trying to push. Thanks.
Steven.
All right. You may follow me on Blue Sky at stephenpaul.bsky.social. And as always, I got my simulpubs on Viz and Manga Plus. That is One Piece and Akane Banashi every week. And we got Trillion Game going on with the bi-weekly schedule. And then, of course, there are the monthly Show 10 chapters. And that one, there's one coming up probably this week, I think. I just turned it in a couple days ago. So you should see it before too long. And I will say, give you a little preview, there was something in there that I absolutely did not see coming, and it completely threw me for a loop. And you will have to find out what that was.
Ooh, that's exciting. I like that series a lot.
Yeah. I don't know how much more we have to go. It seems like it's really wrapping up, but still got a couple more, I'm sure. But what about you, Zach? What about the podcast?
What about me? I'm the podcast is at onepiecePodcast.com. You can find me on Blue Sky at zachlogan.com, I think is what I'm doing right now. Anyway, you can find me there. You could find us anywhere you get your podcasts at One Piece Podcast. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the others. There's a lot. There's a lot of podcatchers. But please subscribe to us if you haven't. Please rate and review if you haven't. Your reviews I think, help us. So please do that. A good review. Please.
Yeah, save the negative ones for yourself, for your diary.
Yeah, just write them in your diary. You could give us a 5-star review, and then in a handwritten book, you could write, "Oh, I meant this to be a 2-star review."
Put it in your death note.
They didn't. They didn't answer my piece together question this week. But what the fuck was I talking about? You could, follow us anywhere you get your social media. All the bad ones and the good ones, you can find us there. And you could call us at our phone number, which is 347-497-MAJI.
Maji.
For just a couple more weeks, you could call us at 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Call anytime.
With your questions, comments, theories, or why Mamagon should happen. The lines are going to be open for a little while. Actually, speaking of, if the other thing that we talked about isn't going to happen, I do have a ton of voicemails saved up so we could do our voicemail show. So we got lots of choices for next week. So stay tuned. I assume the manga's coming back the following week with 1148, so we will see you then. But until then, my name is Zach, and goodbye, everyone.
See ya. Peace.
Bye. So long.
I never know what to say when I'm the only one.